Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Just an Average Sim Racer. It is Saturday night. We haven't streamed. No, that's not complete bullshit. We have streamed on Saturday quite a few times recently because it's a normal stream night. Welcome aboard, everybody. I don't know, a lot of people will be here tonight. We're streaming again. We're live. We're up and running. Very different stream tonight. Not going to do any iRacing. No, I'll take a bit of a night off the iRacing side of it. Assetto Corsa is up and running. We've got some goodies going on. Let's put it right tonight. We will be doing a live watch along of the Formula 1 qualifier from the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. Whew, that's a mouthful. It starts at 11 PM UK. With something very different, which I kind of did last year, but I've turned it up a notch or two for you all. So hopefully that can work out quite well. I hope, anyway. I do actually hope that works out well. So, not sure how I'm going to do it, but we'll play around with it. We'll play around. So, what we're going to do in the meantime, we've got literally 2 hours to kill before the sim actually gets up and running. I just noticed my bitrate is really ridiculously high. I think I've turned the wrong bitrate up on my connection. Oh well, 51,000 bitrate. It can handle it. Just don't want it to be handling it. It's only 50 meg off anyway, so it's not going to be a problem. So hopefully the stream might look a little bit sharper, maybe if YouTube even can do that. I think it can run on your just at 20,000 bitrate. So it's not I think it's a thing I have to say anymore. It's not a thing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're streaming on. So, yeah. Ooh, we'll see what goes down. I'm not expecting lots of people to come in. It's just a bit of a nice, chill, lazy evening. But yeah, Assetto Corsa is going to be the sim of killing time. So I'll be taking requests. So if anyone wants to come along and enjoys what they see, and say, have you got this car, this track? I'm more than happy to hopefully cater for it and see how we go. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen during the watch along. If you go back on the sim and look back a long time, you will find what will happen. But it looks good. I set it up last night to the wee early hours, and it does look good. While we're watching along live to Sky Sports F1 feed at 11 PM, there'll be something happening on the screen at the same time, which will look pretty shit hot and hopefully run to a similar kind of timescale. I hope. Evening, Ants. How you doing, sir? Boy, I wonder should we be asleep or not, to be honest. Well, I've gone live at a bit of a later time, just to allow you to get your nap in. So, yeah. It's going to look good. I think hopefully it will do well. And a little bit of a trolly kind of thing as well, so. No. This is the thing. That screenshot I sent you on WhatsApp is a little clue. It's a tiny little clue, but it's not on Formula 1 2022. I am not installing that this weekend. Just because it's free. Not doing it. Nope, not doing it. So yeah. Just give me a little trick. What we're going to do first is I'm going to take the Mercedes Formula 1 safety car of last year, 2021, which is the old Merc AMG. No one's made one yet for this year. And take that out for a spin at COTA. Now, this version of COTA, I don't know when I got it, but I definitely didn't use it last year. It looks fucking awesome. That's a great game. Are you trolling me already? Definitely not. Part of me when I saw that announcement earlier this week that it was going to be free this weekend went, do you know what? I might be tempted. I might be tempted for Formula 1 to be free. Excuse me. But I went, no. I can't do that to my computer. I just can't. I can't poison it in that way. Authentic Sims only. He says. But we're going to take the Mercedes safety car out on track. I'm sure I had the Aston Martin one as well, but I can't seem to find that anymore. This is on the safety car, actually. I'd rather take the Aston out. Let me just check. Ooh, shit. Oh, it's named differently. Maybe I don't know. I don't like it. No. Just been watching a bit of MLP. MLP? Major League Pricks? I'm not familiar with that one. MLP. Master. MLP. I'm racking my brain on what this could be, but I don't know. I could have sworn I had that safety car. What do you mean LMP? It's also a possibility. No, maybe I could have sworn I'd done that. My little... Oh, for fuck's sake. See, why would I know that? It sounds a little bit weird with a grown man of almost 30 years. I've been watching some My Little Pony. Okay. Everyone to themselves? Widow. Not that knows it. 11 PM, sir, Mr. Rockman. Welcome to the stream. 11 PM. We're just going to just toss around for basically a couple of hours until the qualifying starts. Obviously, I'm really early, but you know we're in the UK, so we're awake at this time of day. But 11 PM. We'll be doing a watch along. There will not be a live feed. I'll be very honest. You get the audio. That bloke who runs Steams. He does it. I'm messing something here. But there will be no live video, it'll be live audio. There will be something happening at the same time on stream. So, no worries, Robert. Much appreciated. Like, follow, subscribe if you do. I will rinse that to the skies. I don't know, blue. Unless I'm making up bullshit. Dear. You're well welcome, though, sir. You're welcome. Right, what am I doing? I don't know. I was going to take the Merc out. Track conditions are very similar to what it is now. Oh my god. And hit the bell notification, absolutely. Oh, look at that. Ooh, oh, Grace. There we go. Moist. Screenshot I took last night, actually. I went for a spin in a Formula 1 car, in a McLaren, with one of the most recent paint jobs on. This is based on the new models of Formula 1 cars.
Hello, game on.
Absolute car porn.
Double check your car setup.
I should have put that in the title, because there will be a little bit of car porn. The ultimate card porn I will bring out for the next race, the next little thing, once we go around this lap, or 2, or 3, just to give everyone an indication of what to expect at the Circuit of the Americas. Oh, I forgot that one on. Is it from lights work? No. I was hoping. But there's one on. I know, certainly on some cars, you've got fully working indicators and hazards and stuff, but this one is pretty poor. I had problems with replays last night, so hopefully replays will work. Okay. I don't need my gloves for this, do I? I'm not going to be wrecking this super hard. He says. Not available. MG UK. Let's move this back because I was fiddling around with something. Okay, so that's miles out of the way. Yeah, well, I do have a little dash I like to use, which is just there. It shows me my actual speedo. There we go. Set the safety car out. Good evening and welcome to Just Another Sim Racer. Very much well. Normally with... I got my pedal cam on. Whee! Absolutely, a bit of a... Just think like a polo, innit? In comparison to an actual sports car. This is... You feel real sensation G-forces. It holds a traction well, this car does. He says. So I tried breaking it up at the braking point for the Formula 1 car. That's only my prediction, mate. I'm going with my prediction. Which... also, people put your own predictions in the chat if you want to as well. This is an example. Do not use your phone while driving. My predictions is Verstappen on pole, Ocon and Alonso 2, 3, and Ricciardo in 4th, and Russell in 5th. I'm going out there. I am following what I predicted. That is my prediction. I am letting the computer decide my prediction. Moan. The recent updated Assetto Corsa to the most recent content manager patch. Content shaders. Yes. What a slide. There's a video going around actually. Let's see if I can find it. The safety car at Singapore, I think, going on 2 wheels. I think it was Singapore. Formula 1 cars in the real world doing this in 136 over the last practice sessions. And my predictions, babe. What's your prediction, Ant? Okay. What do you have? Anyone new to the channel? If you like what you see, pop your predictions for the Formula 1 qualifying in the chat and see if they come true at around midnight tonight. Hey, do you know what? It did go under the radar a little bit. I saw that yesterday. I'm not surprised. Excuse me, that's loud. Not surprised by that, that they've dropped one video, because I think in reality it's not really the right way to do it. They did it to appease the short-term Michael Massey fallout from last season, but 50 braking pressure. Let's break this around 200 board, which doesn't exist. When I say the safety car's slow, it is in comparison. Verstappen, Greg Hamilton. Yeah, it's been a little bit hushed, the race director news. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I like the Freitas. The Freitas takes no shit in WEC as a race director there at Le Mans, because it is very different way of doing things, where they have to run cranes and stuff on track, and that is an FIA sanctioned event. So he's taking what he knows from his previous FIA top level racing and applying it into Formula 1, and people don't like it, you know. God, this Merc handles better than the one I drove on iRacing last night. Which is pretty much a road spec, so it's... It is weird driving a car in that view. Formula 1 car will finish the lap by now. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They've got to find a working. They kept on Neil's Vicious, haven't they? As our main race director. Will we see a safety car tonight? Who knows? In the race tomorrow. Right, so we just did that in a 2:24.86 in the safety car. So we get a faster one. I don't think we will. Safety car route. Whee! Right, so we did that at what, 2:24. .224.8. Keep a mental log of that. So that's our fastest lap around this track in a non-Formula car. What do you want to lap it in there?
Bye.
Goodbye. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm coughing a lot tonight. What do you want? Yeah, so Formula. It's a tough one, isn't it? With the way Formula 1 currently sits at the moment. Do we do this? Do we do that? Do we not do that? Who knows? Who absolutely knows? Because I don't. You see what a Ford GT90 is. I always see it. It looks like an absolute mean-looking car. See the other one out. Gran Turismo Special, this one was. Blurb it. Circuit of America is the premier destination for.
Hello. Game on.
Circuit racing.
Double check your car setup.
Facebook chats. This is a car I don't think I've ever driven before. Was it 1996 or 7? Oh yeah. Hit pause. Go back into cockpit mode. Even in Vista Parker. A little lift off. Lucy. A horrible rearview mirror. Triangle. The corner. Change curve. Moist. Oh, we went moist. Oh, yes. Replay's working again. When do you ever listen to your missus? Hey? When does that ever happen? Unbelievable. Weird fourth gear. Concept car, never put it into production. Oh, hazards. That's why I don't drive in that view anymore, because you can't see any apexes. 224 in a Merc safety car. That sounds like half the people that come onto my stream, mate, that is. One of the first things they say. 221.9. Why are you wearing a face mask? Where the hell are you? On a Saturday night that requires a face mask, apart from the local brothel. Just kick. Cleansing my... Oh, that kind of face mask. You see, in today's day and age, you're thinking, why are you wearing a face mask this time? Where do you need a face mask? Watching qualifying tonight, Elro? .221 seems like probably the best one to get out of that. Of course, as if I'd have a choice. Well, you can sleep, you know. Colin, I'm trying to work out, is there any kind of thing that says I could rhyme with Colin and his surname? 221 is our time.
Game disconnected. Bye.
Kota. 251, even though. Doesn't really matter. Right, what car do you want to see, folks? We want to absolutely rag one round. Oh, RS 1600. Tempting. I've got a 1 series for Matt. Might be, actually. Do. That's not 1 series. That's a 1 series, it's not a hatchback. Got a touring car. I've seen the channel before, but it's the first time I've entered. First time of everything, sir. Welcome aboard. I do have a Rover. Not a Metro. What do I have? No, I don't have a Rover Metro. I do have that one. There we go. Because it's probably been banned. No, just the SD1. Have a look for the Rover. 6R4. Oh, absolutely anything tonight. Oh my god. Yeah, we can get one of them. But, see. Assetto Corsa. Dirt Rally. Skin as well. Dirt Series. 604 mod. Assetto Corsa. Dirt Rally. I don't think there is. Annoyingly. I'm surprised that is. I don't understand in Japanese. Click on that one, see what happens. It'll read Japanese because I don't. Oh look, erectile dysfunction. I love it. Yeah, from wonder what all these Japanese words say. Bang. There we go. Where's the link? I don't. That's this link. There we go. That's up. We might be in luck, boys. We might be in luck. There we go. Here's a weirdo straight out the door. Beware, Colin. There will people out in Force are going to rip you to shreds if you try it. What antivirus on so mega quick speed. That page because it's probably all going to be in Japanese. Erectile dysfunction. Drop you in there. We're going to install it there. Install. We have a GRB MG Metro 6R4. Moist. I've got to find it now. Oh, rough as every. Of course we are. Oh, we might as well do that track. Have I got a handbrake on? That is the question. Oh god, here we go. It's going Pete Tongue already, folks. It's going Pete Tongue already. Okay, it's Saturday night. Have I got a handbrake mapped? Shift spill. I don't think I do, you know. It's just... Are you Big Al? Where's the handbrake? Give me a handbrake, Assetto Corsa. Cheeky. Turbo traction, ABS balance. Next year. There it is. There it is. Yeah, so we go handbrake. Bang! 1, 2. There we go, we might need that. So pull on the handbrake. Sound moist. Replace, yes. Spat all over the steering wheel. You've got to give some people some credit for just also balls in, doesn't you? What we do, but we'll do it. I can be anything for you, but I won't do it. Right, let's see what this MG bad boy does this tracking. Go. Yeah, alright.
Hello. Game on. Double check your car setup.
You know, dangerous game that, wasn't it?
Go.
He's lively. Oh my word, it's so loose. Okay. That is a beast. Massive oversteer. Oh. Massive oversteer without even touching it. Just pooling it around. Oh, this is meant to be going to soils and gravel, isn't it, really? Man, it hasn't even got a back end. I don't think the mod's a particularly good mod in terms of its realism. That was like a 50-mile-an-hour spin with no steering. And yeah, you can't even just brake on it. What is this? Let's knock the brake bias down to about like 50%. It's good for donutting. Wow. Yeah. That's a bag of shit on that one. The car can't go around a corner with no input. Eat shit. Soft as well. Let's turn the rear wing. Just keep it all front end happy as much as possible. Suspension, yeah, then I'll do that one. Yeah. Collins is definitely feisty. Really sensitive. High values made from more underbrake. I'd rather have more underbraking, please. Okay. Just raise everything up. It's got ABS. Fair play.
Go.
I mean, I meant to go with a H. But... Better. Ooh, yeah. Oh no. I want to drive this sideways, this car, but I don't think I have the skill to drift. 50 maxed out? Fucking hell. 207 kilometers an hour. 129 miles an hour. Moist. Ah, okay, donuts. Okay.
Game disconnected.
That's a horrible car. Horrible car. He did, they leaked good. Never did they bore it? Right. Have we got a Mini Cooper? No, there's shit in the steering wheel, I remember right. Should we run a Tesla around it? A Tesla Model S? See how that thing drives.
Hello. Game on.
Hello.
Double check your car setup.
Nah. It's possibly the Peter comments I think I read all that on. I just thought I paused the recording then I was like, oh shit. Oh, there's no engine noise in this thing. The quietness of
Go.
your sensation G-force on there. It's got 2 gears. 2 gears and wind noise. It's as good as electric cars are. There's no braking regen if you do. Moist. Oh my god. This is where mods on Assetto Corsa, while good, rather than not really finished in terms of how they feel and how they drive, no balance to them. Physics are way off. This car's got some straight line speed. You can't lean on, can you? Another shit mod. We're going to work out what mods are shit and what aren't as well by doing this.
Game disconnected. Bye.
Game disconnected. I'll get rid of that shit mod. How long have we got? Should we take the Volvo truck out for a lap? I mean, this would be shits and giggles. Red Bull livery? Yeah, fuck it, why not? Take the racing truck out. In case you're just joining us the stream, hello all. We are running about an hour and 15 minutes away from the start of qualifying.
Hello.
We'll be more than happy to watch along.
Double check your car setup.
How about a V8? I've got V8 Sandiso. Somewhere I've got a V8 anyway. You name me a V8, and I'll see if I've got it. And we'll take it for a spin around Kota, which I believe they did race a few years ago, didn't they, before COVID and stuff at Kota. More than happy to, Sandiso. Otherwise, I've got my glove on. I've not been racing with gloves. Hang on. This is loud. It's not the right V8, mate. It means a V8 supercar. The size is right. Check the circle of a truck. So, really huge amounts of torque at the rear end. The king of the road. Truck racing is good fun. I remember seeing one at Brands Hatch a number of years ago. Hey Angelo, how you doing? So nice to see you again. Some sounds are solid. Here we go. Circuit of America in a truck. Faster than the Rover Metro. Everyone being this is flat out for Formula 1 car. from Sunday, so. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I just literally said it exactly how it's spelt. It's the only way I know how. Come on, boy. Can we get a flying lap in this bad boy? I like it. I've always liked this truck. They're very safe. That's how you take the first hairpin. Just nail it. Keep the revs up. .24 in the safety car, 221 in the Ford GT90. Absolutely. There's a large freezer in the back of the trailer. She's remarkably good on his brake. Go down to first very well, I get a real big diff lock. We'll just keep it in second gear. So we can get around the corner. Definitely going to be trouble in 224 in this. Declare's got a grid penalty. There we go. First, a bit of Formula 1 chatter. What's he got a penalty for, Miss Big Man? Change of engine parts, probably. There was rumours before the weekend started. Both Ferraris might get grid penalties. Oh no! Doing around a 240 anyway. That was. That was. Let's have a look at the replay now.
Game disconnected. Bye.
Okay. Alonso. Oh, there's my prediction. Is it Alonso's permitted one, or is he out of it? Nice, that, isn't it? So if you're liking what you see, mate, be sure to subscribe as well, buddy. More the merrier. South Africa, good man. Good man. We'll just down to the USGP, to the front, that first hairpin in there. The size of the wheels on it. fact the brake light is like stupidly high above it all. So 240s is probably what we're looking at there. So you say you recommended a V8? I'm pretty sure I've got a V8 somewhere. I do. I've got a Falcon, Holden, Commodore, VF, ZB, or the V8 Nissan Altima from a long time ago. The 2019 V8s. I'm thinking the Falcon. I've got a paint job on it, but don't know if these mods are any good, but I think they're alright. In terms of handling models and stuff like that. I'll take the Ford out. I'm a Ford fan. Basically the Ford Mondeo in the UK. I don't think I have a Pontiac GTO map.
Hello, game on. Double check your car setup.
MP4 and there might be an MP4 format. And this one sounds nice, so you just sit there in idle mode. Soft. Oh, super soft. There we go. Aero. More, please. just more aero. Must be nice. More diff. Good diff. Look around it, that's right, isn't it? Colin, for you, no. Nice try. Someone else probably can though. People that aren't on camera can easily take off their clothes. That thing goes. Steering's so heavy. I don't think V8s then had power steering. Or even now, I don't think actually, Senna. Oh, stable when I'm understeer central. Not exactly aero. I've got Suzuki Escudo. We can do both. This handles really, really well actually. Should be driving somewhere sequential. So, Sandy, so you're a V8 fan then? I love watching the V8s. People races on a respectable UK time. Probably not on a great South African time either. Ooh, understeer central there. Go. Fine lap. best sounding cars I've heard in the game, actually. It's those pops, those noises, pure mechanical noise of that V8. This is car porn. Territory. Kind of makes you want to try out the V8s in iRacing now. Maybe next season's series of choice. Oh man! I mean, that was. Gave me an off track there. $220 flat that was. That sounded nice, didn't it? That did. Okay. So look at the replay for that bad boy.
Game disconnected. Bye.
Sound. It's funny how much that looks like a Mondeo. Right, and what do you want to see? Do you want to see first you see this as an MP44 or a Suzuki Escudo? Some people. Correct me if I'm wrong, the only V6 hybrid I know of these days is actually the only Formula 1 cars. I might be miles off. I'm not massively familiar with hybrids, I have to say. A decent spec. Off track and also all the 4 irons, isn't there? Apex somewhere, Kev. This is the fastest car around the track so far. It's like a Top Gear session tonight. The Scudo is a V6. Is it not a high? Is it not? It's not a V6 hybrid though. V6 hybrid, dude. As soon as you said the Scudo was his next one, I thought, okay, fuck it, we'll do Suzuki. Now, if I remember rightly, this is a bitch of a car in this game. to drive. We'll give it a go anyway. Oh my god. Cough my lungs up again.
Hello. Game on. Double check your car
This
setup.
is a car of old. Gran Turismo's... When did it stop being a Gran Turismo game? Was it probably 5 maybe? I think it was in 4. Don't remember seeing it in 5. There was viral videos of that car. Gears, not really about gears. It's rocket ship. Super slick, super soft. Fuel. Don't know about fuel. Aero. More please. Don't want to need it. 2 degrees in there. More on the back. I'll do. If I remember right, it was just 2 engines in effect, front and back. I did GT1 as well for its sins. You got no car noise on the outside. Interesting. No engine noise on it. Disappointing. Yeah, I don't know if the mod was particularly good, but it's the only one that's ever existed for this, so.
Go.
Didn't know you were here, Jason. How's it going, sir? Stable 3VS's. Four-wheel drive as well, which is not a drive train I'm familiar with. Consider reducing force feedback. Nope. I'm going to try and rip my hands apart. Really? I could have sworn it was in the first one. Not bad, sir, not bad. Flat out, 6 gear, 281, and brakes. Oh, he's good on the brakes. It was never this good at Gran Turismo. Is it in a new is it in GT7? There was a Suzuki Escudo and then there was a Suzuki Corsa, I think it was, they called it. A slightly smaller version. Jesus. That model nice, to be honest. But it's not actually bad in this game. Handling models there. It feels like they borrowed a handling model from something else. And no external. Maybe on the steering, I'll give it that much. Off track. I'm a bit scared of actually getting all the power down on it. It's a fast fucking car. Force feedback is really, really heavy on it. 2:05:47. Miles quicker than anything else. Miles quicker.
Game disconnected. Bye.
Just with no external sound. He has to, there's thought it's qualifying on. No sound on the external model. That's annoying. It looks really basic as well. But fastest car around the COTA test track today, guys. We got it up over. Okay, let me now TV up in the background. So we got that. Oh, there's an update. Of course there is. Jesus Christ. Bloody now TV. Oh my god, I wanted to flick off, guys. 1 sec. So really have up a long on that one. Can I split it again? Probably.
Car, even if it's catering and a tax rebate and things that probably don't directly equate to that.
I think Red Bull know that. I think they're looking for some recognition in the wording that it wasn't some kind of intended abuse of the regulations as such. But of course, you know, the regulations are the regulations. A breach, they've got to change the wording. A minor breach, a major breach. A breach is a breach. There should be enough of a number.
A breach is a breach.
Maybe, but not enough for an upgrade on the car. Otherwise, all the teams will push that. So they'll be trying to agree the wording and the penalty going forward, and just how much pain they want to give Red Bull, let's say, on their wind tunnel time next year.
Even Toto, though, to be fair to even Toto said, look, it shouldn't change the result of 2021. This is about, you know, transparency, and simplicity, and moving together and working through the process. Which, I mean, actually, when you look at it, the difference between a minor breach and a material breach, that's way high. 5%.
That's the wrong bloody folder.
All of these kind of things need to be brought to the table, don't they, Danica?
Everybody wants to know how to play the game.
Yeah.
And they need clear instructions as to how that's going to happen, how they're going to penalize.
Yeah, wrong bloody folder. File over.
You said, Martin, what's a major, what's a minor? Should that even be part of the language? Everybody needs to know, because the name of the game is always to push the boundaries just as far as you possibly can, and so that's what everybody's going to try and do.
What do you want to see, Sandy? What would you like to see, sir? You let me know, and I'll see if I've got it. I'll see if I've got it first.
Let's just bring it up to the drivers and constructors. Here's how we are with 4 races to go. Max Verstappen obviously confirmed as champion.
Is the audio okay in the background for the Formula 1? We'll turn it up anyway. I automatically dim it when I'm driving, so or when I'm talking.
Never ever finished 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship in their history. George Russell remains 27 points ahead of 7-time world champion, and his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Lando Norris is the best of the rest. Ocon, Alonso and the Alpine team look to have a quick car here. Confirmation again of Sebastian Vettel's best results of the season in 6th last time out. Nicholas Latifi getting his first points as well as his time.
Fucking Latifi.
Comes to So the constructors, if they're not outscored by Ferrari by 19 points, then Red Bull will be crowned constructors champions, as well as having that driver's a second consecutive one for Max Verstappen. Let's hear from the world champion. This is what he's had to say going into the weekend.
Not press the button.
Driven the car's been there for you. The team has been on point.
Oh, the cough is doing better.
Every Sunday. Is it a different feeling this year from last year?
Yeah, for sure. It's been completely different circumstances. Of course, it already starts with just the cars being completely different.
Of course, it's been different circumstances.
Also, the year we've had, I think we learned again a lot from.
You were given it last year.
We have a really good group of people, and I think also this year.
Yeah, what do you want to see drive next, folks? I'll see if I've got it around COTA.
Even though at the end of the race, Jonathan Wheatley and your engineer weren't even sure whether you've won it.
Lazenby, voice broker.
Can you not win a championship in a car?
Oh, Lazenby's voice is going, isn't it?
Everyone's sure that it's actually
I
happened.
think, yeah, it was just a
We'd
bit
have to
unlucky.
wait for anything.
It was just unlucky with the weather, to be honest.
Oh, Simon Lazenby's voice is gone.
The exact rule was because, of course, the rule book is this big.
Yeah.
But anyway,
The only bigger goat we can see is Ted, absolutely.
In terms of what
Ted is a
I would have not won
miracle
it,
man.
It was just because of that penalty then.
Charles's
Yeah,
penalty.
that I won it. So for me, it never really felt weird, or just because I knew.
What do we want to
I
see,
crossed the
folks?
line,
Around the
I was
track.
not a champion, which I was like, that's fine. I just had a
Karen
great race.
GTR would be pretty awesome, wouldn't it?
Even though I think they flagged me one lap too early, because when I crossed the line, there was still like 2 or 3 seconds on the clock. And suddenly when I was on the end of the straight, I
think I
could
do
see,
have
like,
an MP44
checkered
as well.
flag, but I was like, I didn't see a flag. So yeah, everything was just a bit
P422.
messy, I guess, and a bit
don't.
confusing. But at the end, also that
Do
when I
I?
look
Yes,
back,
I do.
it was quite.
I do. It's in a different order. McLaren Honda. Got the R10, the R4, or the R2. Where's the R2?
Well, Jensen and I have come
We'll do
up
the
to
R10.
a fantastic spot above the pit lane here, Jensen. You can see all the crowds here that have come to the race for this weekend, but, Jensen, we can also feel the breeze.
Yeah, you can. Well, first of all, there aren't many people in the grandstand at the moment because they're all here. They're all here in the pit lane looking at the cars before they go out for qualifying. But you're right, it's so windy here. The drivers are really going to feel that in qualifying, and especially because you do have
Frost or Senna?
You can also see
Gotta be
as
a
well the
Senna,
huge
isn't it?
flag at the top and the direction it's going in. When they come out of turn 1, they're going to get a huge tailwind sending them down towards turn 2.
You do, and it's kind of like Suzuka. You know, the first sector in Suzuka, if you have a headwind, it feels great. Have a tailwind, it's terrible because you have oversteer all the way through that section. So from turn 2 to turn 9, it's very, very tricky for them out there. And we saw that inconsistency.
Hello,
at FP3,
game
so
on.
It's exciting going into
Double check your car
qualifying.
setup.
Look forward to seeing the
See what we
cars
can do in this
on the
car.
track.
Which
Well, we also need
don't
to
know
talk
if I've
about
ever driven.
Logan Sargent, your affiliation with Williams. Logan Sargent.
they're going to be talking about this budget cap donkeys, mate, because no one can make their mind up. To be honest. Oh. Gentlemen, I need some help with the tyres.
He's also got the sprint and the feature race in Abu Dhabi. Currently 3rd in F2. Has to just finish
I'll put it on Senna, don't you worry.
to get that seat next year.
Goodyear Eagle A to D.
Well, I think
Which one's the faster tyre?
proven that he's
Or the
quick.
sensible
Everything
tyre?
he's driven, he's been competitive. You know, some might say, well, he's young, you know, jumping in an F1 car, can't we wait another year? But I jumped in an F1 car when I was 20. Kimi Räikkönen did when he was 20.
Turbo, 100%.
Max Verstappen did when he was 18. So the age really isn't the important factor. It's whether you think
I don't know which was a quicker tyre.
If Williams are willing to have him make mistakes, which you probably will.
It loaded me on C, so I'll just
But
keep
it's
it on
a
C.
great place to learn. You're learning in Formula One. As long as you're allowed to learn and make those mistakes, it's the.
It's like a go-kart compared to some of the cars we've driven tonight.
Excited, and I hope that he gets the points to race because it's going to be an exciting dream.
Now, this is going to kill me. Steering's so light, it's unreal. That's gone quiet. Can't see the corners. It's that low. Wait that turbo to kick in. See that whistle? What a noise! Clear the air. Drive this with a H shifter. It's just been announced, has it? There was rumours he died a couple of weeks ago.
Incredibly generous.
Jason's like, "Ooh, what's that he's driving?" Yep, we'll have that. amazing. High end grip, but the low end is not there. This is car porn at its best, isn't it? Sunday, so you come across as a very knowledgeable car man, which is nice to see on the channel for a change. We get some weirdos in here sometimes. 205 in the Suzuki. It feels so much quicker than the Suzuki, but there we go.
Epic odds. We've got you covered. Real value, week in, week out. It's who you play with. William Hill.
That was the advert.
Game disconnected. Bye.
Let's have a look at that flying lap. Shh. It's not as tricky as I thought it was going to be to drive, but it's certainly leery. Take some screenshots while this is going. I'll put these in the Discord if anyone wants anything. Nvidia, you're welcome to join the Discord as well. I think it's in the description, or if you type in !Discord. I think it's a link as well. If you want to fancy joining over there for any random other chit chat occasionally, you're welcome to. 5 there, aren't they?
the founder of Red Bull, Dietrich Mateschitz, has died at the age of 78. Our thoughts are with his family.
Good, my internet's not my internet, but my actual
As we carry on towards
feed looks rubbish.
minutes to go now, about 35 minutes, I should say, to go until the start of qualifying. George Russell has had a terrific season, 27 points ahead of seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. He took to the high seas with Ted the other day.
My Now TV looks absolutely gash.
But the last two races in Asia were
But on my iPad,
so to clear
that
his
is
head,
disgusting.
I think he could do with a day on the river.
Watch it at the same time. I don't know if that's because of the resolution or not.
I want to get in there, Ted. Come on.
Go on then, you get in some.
That's filth.
There you go.
There we go.
Absolute resolution. It's not my internet.
So, Colorado River, George.
Here we are.
The old Colorado.
It looks like the Thames to me.
Bit of connecting with nature.
Absolutely. Forget all about the racing here.
Right, do we see any other cars, guys?
I imagine this is very good for your
Core?
for your balance,
Yeah.
for your core.
I feel like we could have won a race this year. Hungary, probably, if things went a bit differently. Zandvoort was probably our best shot.
Yeah.
And then even Singapore, the car was very quick. So
That's
it's a bit of a shame that we
I can't see two at the same time.
Are you going to be able to make it back to shore?
That is disgusting quality. I might have to
Bitten by snakes or turtles.
try to restart that.
How do I get...
Let's try that. Let's just restart that. I mean, I could watch it on air, but you wouldn't get the audio as well. So, can I get the audio on there? Probably not. So I'm thinking a way of getting the audio from my iPad to my because the Now TV app doesn't let you not multi-stream, it doesn't let you video out on the what do you call it? Video out on the HDMI. Could try and Bluetooth it. That's better.
No,
would it be annoying if he overtook you?
No, not at all, to be honest. We're here to win at the end of the day. You know, joining a team.
Might be a resolution. That's fine.
For championships, and if you can't fight for championships,
Do we want to see any other cars, folks?
Race victories, and it's if I were to
Go hammering around Kota.
this championship,
Does George Russell ever have any trousers that fit his legs? Ankle swings.
you know, the goal hasn't been accomplished. So it's if you gave me a choice between, even if it was second in the championship or getting a race win in these last four races and finishing fourth.
220 subs, guys. We gained some subs tonight. Good evening, folks.
What have you learned about Lewis that you didn't already know?
I always knew how dedicated he was.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Racing to success, but I think
that shit.
this year, probably seen it more than ever, how hungry he is to try and.
Do you know what? There was a car.
For the team and, you know, get himself back.
Many cars. Once upon a time, there was a car.
How he interacts with the team, how he
He
interacts with the people around him. You know, he's a pretty inspirational guy.
I haven't even got it anymore, actually. It was a red. It was the car from GT, the Red Bull Supercar, what they had to call it.
We've had a few stuff, and you know, just hearing his story and what he's up to between the races, it's pretty impressive.
It was
just wanted to download the Aston Martin safety car,
for your parents to go into the factory in Brackley.
It was a great experience for them because you know, they've been such a huge part of my journey from when I started at 7 in go-karting, and as I said on social media, you know, my dad was my mechanic and my mum was there always taking care of us, and then she'd always be writing down the setups and the lap times and comments from every single session, every single heat, qualifying, race, and got this big notepad of information. And somebody actually offered a lot of money to try.
I used to have it, and I think I got rid of it.
Out of principle, said no, that's our little memento or souvenir.
It used to be a supercar.
Call it from our time.
I'm not a Red Bull fan.
In the last sort of 5 years,
I'm not. I'm a McLaren fan, to be honest with you.
Enjoyed it, but never maybe got the opportunity.
Always been a McLaren boy.
A bit more what it's all about, and
sort of just seeing it from afar. Obviously,
So no, not Red Buller.
I think they enjoyed that time going around the factory and seeing how it is to make a Formula 1 car.
Definitely. All right, well, listen, thanks very much, George. Hope you enjoyed the paddle boarding. I found it mildly terrifying. Yeah. But, you know, there's Texas's only nudist beach round the corner. Hippie Hollow, it's called.
You would know.
Well, I'm on for it if you are, son.
I'm not.
No? Oh, okay, all right. Well, all right.
Did old Ted just say to George Russell we should go to a nudist beach together?
Difficult for Ted. Top-heavy paddleboarding. Right, let's talk about George Russell, though, and the season that he's had. Jensen, welcome.
AMG C63 DTM version is mentally fast. The old DTM, or the last DTM era.
You know what it's like. Only yourself and Nico have beaten Lewis over the course of a championship. How big an achievement is this?
Well, if he stays there, it is. Yeah, I think. But I think you need to look at the full picture. You know, I think he came into this year unbelievably strong from the word go, and I think for Lewis, after what happened in Abu Dhabi, and also from coming from such a strong car to a car that was a bit more difficult to drive and being middle pack, really, mentally it's really difficult. For George coming from a team that was nearer to the back, jumping in a car that he thinks is relatively good,
so I think we'll do
easier for him. So he definitely had the upper hand on Lewis. But throughout the year, Lewis has developed the car, and he's so strong now. You look at Lewis; it's one of the strongest Lewises we've
Red
seen.
Bull will accuse rivals of a concert campaign.
Well,
unfortunately, Red Bull, if you overspent your
I think when George
money,
doesn't matter about being Lewis in the championship, he knows deep down inside it does matter. And
Mercedes fans, Mercedes and Car are the same thing, aren't they? Used to be. Not as much anymore. Only in engine partnerships, I suppose. Obviously, McLaren's a customer of Mercedes. But back in the day, yeah, McLaren, Mercedes, and the Hakkinen Coulthard era. Quality. I mean, well, all the way up until the hybrids. When they stopped using Mercs, didn't they, man? In the second year of the Merc series.
And has a lot more going on, and he gets involved in other dynamics within culture, and that's just a lot of things, and you just never really can know.
They actually announced that Matic died.
Maybe it's
nothing on BBC Sport about it.
And that's perfectly acceptable as well. But I think that to what Jensen said, coming to a car that is better than where it is with going to make a big difference, and there's going to be a comfort factor and an excitement factor, and he's so used to pushing so hard, George, that when he gets in a car that's better,
Tom Aaron works at Brands Hatch. His dad is quite a key guy in British motorsports.
You get a team that's been down is up on
Very
top.
unwell.
The drivers are used to digging deep.
For the neutral's perspective, I think everybody's hoping
Jimmy won again.
A car that can
in
challenge Red Bull and the speed of Ferrari on a Saturday next season. Because do you believe there's still an 8th World Championship in Lewis?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely is.
Let me just mute this. You guys will probably want to hear this. Sorry, just mute Formula 1. This is one of the walk-on shows at. Wow.
And you know, for Kona isn't quite perfect, he deals with it and moves on, whereas most of us don't. But no, he definitely has got an 8th title, and I hope they're fighting at the front next year.
Well, they've got a better race car, haven't they, than qualifying car this season. So if you can get close today, who knows what might happen tomorrow. Right, let's go to the Skypad. Anthony Davidson is there. What can you tell us, Ant?
Yeah, well, Simon,
it almost sounded like they were shouting pedo, but I wasn't too sure.
If you missed out,
as well.
For those of you who didn't see it, here's what to expect. Some very tricky conditions for all of the drivers out there.
Yeah, put the order up a little bit, because it's going to get close to game time soon.
Turn 2 into turn 3, and then 4. And turn 5, you need to carry the speed, but look at that, the rear end getting away from him there. And that's because of the tailwind that Bottas feels as well through turn 7, fighting the car the whole way. So sector 1 into sector 2 is a really important part of the track to get right, and it's difficult at the best of times, let alone when you're fighting a huge tailwind. It's very gusty here today. Next up, we got turn 12. This is Carlos Sainz on his way down to that corner. Now you're getting into a crosswind situation in the middle of that corner, and it catches him out on turning off the circuit, and that's an area where if you do that in qualifying, you're definitely going to have your lap deleted. We haven't seen any laps deleted so far through practice. But when it comes to
who would have thought? I like you, Sandisa. I like you.
Your time will be.
Who would have thought that's going to be achieved?
Fernando Alonso was finding it difficult as well. Here he is through turn 13, and on the exit, he gets a moment where just on traction, he's losing out, and a big moment there for him fighting that Alpine. It looked particularly difficult for Alonso, I must say, out of those corners with low-speed traction being a bit of an Achilles heel for that car. And then finally, we've just been speaking about Lewis Hamilton. It is his circuit. He loves it here. But in turn 19, once again, just if you get a bit of
I ended up reading something else which was completely not related to Formula 1. That's the problem with Twitter.
Before the end of the lap. And if you do this, yes, you're losing time because you...
Stop reading something about how to change OBS into...
They're going to delete your time. So a real tough one for all of the drivers out there today. I think I only saw one or two drivers.
Oh, Kelly, yeah. Kelly. This is
FP3. So I really feel like whoever drives the best lap today will be on pole position.
Thanks, Ant. Right, we've talked a lot about the strides that Formula One and the Hamilton Commission are making towards getting more diverse individuals into the sport of F1. When we come back, we're going to tell you the story of Force Indy and the strides that IndyCar are making too.
Okay. Force Indy.
It's crazy. It's a long time coming for the motorsports industry.
I'm sorry.
You know,
Force Indy or Force India?
That have been broken and are being broken. You know, it's needed, and it's just extraordinary and awesome that it's happening now in the motorsports industry.
Everybody's eyes missing.
Looks like that tyre change is paying off.
In this race, the ability to adapt is invaluable.
Formula One on Sky Sports, sponsored by Workday, a system for finance, HR and planning.
It's 20 minutes to what is not.
Accenture. Let there be change.
The big games are here. Big challenges. Big moments.
Top of a drink for you.
Big goals. And big whatever that was. And with Coral's free-to-play football Super Series, this week's big game just got better. Predict 4 match stats, and you could win free bets or £50 cash. Football Super Series, free-to-play every week from Coral.
What do I want? I want to be taken on a velvety journey.
Ooh, a velvety journey.
Punchy,
love a good advert.
Viewed nuttiness, engulfed by a sublime white cloud of silk. Delicately nestling.
If anyone follows the Twitter, the Twitter thingy, whatever you call them, Twitter user, no context Brits, I recommend it. And some of the stuff that they post is obviously legit because it's posted on news sources. That's brilliant. Peppa Pig, Peppa Wonder, DJ played Peppa Pig theme tune when police officers walked in. Awesome. Can't go wrong with that.
Live happy, protected. They were all yellow.
Yeah, so Karun Chandra, someone posted. First post I found about it. About Dietrich.
I wrote a song for
Don't drop me a milk.
and it was called Yellow. And then I took a turn. Oh, what
Spat all over the finger. This is the quote of the day. Toto Wolff asked by Sky Germany on his reaction to Christian Horner's statements in the press conference. I almost had to squeeze a tear out when I heard it. Great. The facts are 9 out of 10 teams are under the cost cap. One team is now arguing that they slipped over a supposed non-performance topics, but these apply to all of us. We also thought about how many sandwiches we give people and how we deal with various other cost pools. Whatever they're over, $1 million, 2 or 5, I don't know. It is a cash value advantage that you can put into development. It's a bit like reverse psychology. Who is the victim? And I believe the victims are the 9 teams.
Live on Sky Sports.
I'm Jan.
Pleased to meet you, Jan.
He gets these impulsive moods.
They were supposed to be back some time ago.
There's been savage in the remaining posts. But that is Toto's brutal.
Welcome back. We're outside Red Bull. Obviously, we brought it to you early, the terrible news of the passing of Dietrich Mateschitz, the man who started it all for Red Bull. Christian Horner has kindly come out to talk to us. It's obviously, the team obviously still in shock. Terribly, terribly sad news, Christian.
Look, it's very, very sad. I mean, what a great man. There's, you know, he's few of a kind. What he achieved and what he's done for so many people, you know, around the world, across different sports, is second to none. And you know, so many of us have to be so grateful to him for the opportunity he provided.
I know they're talking about Dietrich Mateschitz on the live stream, but a caller Radio 4 just described Liz Truss as all farce and no shit.
Follow your dreams and chase your dreams.
Love it. Love it.
You know, that's what he did
British politics,
here in Formula One, proving that you can make a difference. And you know, we're just incredibly grateful for him, everything that he's done, everything that he's supported us with over the years. You know, so many drivers, so many team members, so many people in this pit lane owe him so much. So, as he would have wanted, we now heading to this qualifying exactly how he would have wanted to be. Passionate about Formula One, passionate about the team, and our determination is to go and do our best for him today, and obviously in the race tomorrow.
I know he's a very private man.
It's cock on that, isn't it?
Inspired by what Max achieved last year, and again with the championship being sealed in Suzuka.
Well, thankfully he got to see that, and he was incredibly proud of the team, incredibly proud of everything that we've done and have been achieving, and he's been a passionate supporter and the backbone of everything that we do. So you know, it's important that we celebrate and recognize the contribution that he has made. Quite a remarkable man, an inspirational individual, and one that we owe a huge amount.
Appreciate you coming out to talk to us. Thank you, Christian. Really appreciate it. Dietrich Mateschitz, who died sadly earlier today at the age of 78.
Jesus Christ, treating him like the fucking Queen. Yeah, we got the Austrian national anthem.
Before the break, we've seen the strides that Formula One, the Hamilton Commission, are making to get more diversity into Formula One. IndyCar are doing the same thing. They're on a journey of equality. This is the story of Force Indy.
Like a lot of kids, I love cars. And I ended up watching and listening to the Indianapolis 500. I just was enamored with what was actually going on because you could hear the roar of the engines and all the hype of the media.
And he dances down the pits like a ballet icon.
I'm Rod Reed, founder of NXG Youth Motorsports, as well as Force Indy Race Team. I started thinking, I wonder why.
You're probably not wrong there, to be honest, on that level.
Early on, I started doing a little research, and that's when I realized that at that time, blacks weren't allowed, and were actually kept out. So that was, I think, an early part of my desire to sort of change that. So I met a gentleman by the name of Charles Wilson, and we decided that we should do something for that next generation, that it was a little too late for us, and we said we should do something for these young black boys and girls who may want to get into racing. Next Gen Racers was born.
My dad heard of this new program.
Good Face Limited 2023 wind.
And thought that his son, myself, would be someone good to
much
kind of
problem
test
these
it
days,
out,
really?
'cause this was their very first class they'd ever had with Next Gen Racers, and I was a participant in that class. They set up a course and they get you to understand, you know, apexes, turning points, braking points, and allow you to kind of develop your own skills and you know, grow you as a kid of, you know, 11 to 14 years old, and see what you can do.
Like his nose.
I started karting when I was 4. My dad put me in a go-kart at our track, and he said, just go drive, and I've been racing ever since, and I fell in love with the sport. My end-all goal is to be the first African-American woman to win the Indy 500. So along the way, NXG and Coach Rod have helped me so much. I've been a recipient of the NXG Path to Pro scholarship, which has put me in an F4 car twice. So that was an experience of a lifetime, something I'll never forget. So being able to be in the car and learn so much, it was incredible.
In 2020, this was during something that was pretty horrific in our country, and that was the murder of George Floyd. A lot of organizations were concerned about.
I think if they're good enough, Sandy, so they should be there. If they're good enough, there's no reason. I don't care
on issues
colour they are, or ethnicity, female, male. They've got to be good enough.
Call from Roger Penske.
To be given the opportunity is where it needs to start. So this kind of scheme we've got in America actually is really good.
Had brought more people.
Racing is expensive. It was, you know, it does a favour a certain demographic.
To see an African American in Indy 500 again, and so
you know,
put together a business
can buy their way into motorsport, which is
the first
is expensive. It's one of those things where you kind of got to do it.
List of about 12
to get on that ladder. But it's so hard because the money is the expensive part. But if you got someone that's prepared to help people get on that ladder, get on that thing, all it takes is a good driver to get some good races behind them at any level. Go-karts, F4, something like that. Or anyone can get into that position in the first place through help. And if they're quick, they're going to get picked up. And people don't care where they come from, as long as they're quick and they got the opportunity at the very low levels. For someone to come in at a high level is asking too much, just for the sake of it. They're wrong about let's get women in F1. It's great, but a lot of people, women aren't racing any formula, realistically. You got women in GTs, LMPs, they're more accessible than open wheel, arguably. So, but if they're good enough, get them in it. Absolutely, get them in the car, get them on track.
Could work.
You know, there needs to be more initiatives, more schemes to help motor racers race.
To have an opportunity.
I went into
past the go-kart level.
We had really good success in the first couple races. We won.
These guys are like racing F4s, I think.
The first round at
or even USF 2000 cars, which is basically F4s.
First race in Barber Motorsports Park. We won 2 out of 3 races. We finished second in the championship. It was an amazing year for everybody.
But I'm all for.
With me. And to see the success.
I'm all for diversity if, as I say, the skills there. There's a rule in America, in their NFL, I think, where a certain percentage of coaches have to be from an ethnic minority, from a diverse background, which is fine if they're good enough. Again, are they given the opportunity at low level? But when the majority of players that come through are of ethnic or diverse backgrounds, the opportunity's already been there. It's up to the teams to take that person away at the end of their career and go, right, let's get you into a coach level, exert your knowledge if you've been good enough, and create your coach. That's one thing that will probably help, because it makes teams do that now. Beforehand, probably wasn't so much, but that is a rule at the moment, where they've got to bring so much diversity through. And they tried to do. I think it was Moody to bring that into football in England and the UK, but it's about having the opportunity at the initial level and having the education to take people out of it as well and bring them back in.
It's going to not be a team anymore. It's going to be more of a mentorship, a scholarship. But it's hugely important. We talk, as we say, so often about the Hamilton Commission. We talk about what F1 are doing, but there is a distinct pathway now. It would seem through.
Yeah, I think if anyone's good enough. Now, here's a classic example here. Danica. Danica Patrick.
But I think
good presenter.
What this does, it reminds me of W Series.
Good race car driver.
Where, these young.
I'll leave that for the chats to decide. Was Danica Patrick a good race car driver?
As I say, they're going to have to race against everyone at some point in time, but it's still a pathway and opportunity. So to me, it's not only like a pathway as in US F2000 or whatever the series is, but also a pathway for someone that might not have got the opportunity in the first place to show what they can do.
Yeah, and backed by Roger Penske as well, so a huge supporter about diversity.
Well, Penske's behind it, that's a good thing.
Well, anything that Ryzen is a part of is taken very seriously as far as how it performs, but then George Russell, good luck in qualifying.
But Penske is the major force in America.
But it also means that everyone else that's involved with that group is going to take the group seriously as well, because Roger Penske is involved.
Great stuff. Okay, as we said,
true words.
George Russell just pegging his way past us to get into the garage. 10 minutes to go till the start of qualifying. Let's go to Ted.
Thank you very much, Simon. Yes, if the drivers are being cheered from the gallery in the paddock here, it's a similar feeling as the pre-qualifying show gets
There's a big crowd in there, isn't it? They've got
I'd say about 60,000
huge crowd
on the hill overlooking turn 1, expecting to see some fireworks in qualifying later. And the wind is as strong as it was in free practice 3 earlier on today, Texan time. And what that's doing is blowing quite a lot of dust and sand and grass onto the track. And it's actually going to mean that the track will improve quite considerably throughout the qualifying hour. So watch out for that. Mercedes will make sure they don't get caught out by that. They were only 5th and 7th for Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, respectively, in free practice 3. But they hope for better than that. At Ferrari, it's high hopes. Bearing in mind that Charles Leclerc does have that grid drop, 10 places on the grid for a new turbocharger and a new engine. So from wherever Charles Leclerc,
10 places
on the grid. But next
that's not too bad.
It's Carlos Sainz then who carries the hopes of the prancing.
I expect Elroy to say that, to be honest.
This afternoon's session, we'll see how it goes for them. But can they really challenge Red Bull Racing? And you know, just next door at Red Bull Racing, bearing in mind what we've been hearing, the sad news out of Austria, the championship might be over, Drivers' Championship for Max Verstappen. But today, Red Bull and Max Verstappen have something to be perfect for, in the form of a tribute to their co-owner, the co-owner of Red Bull, of course, the owner of Red Bull Racing, Dietrich Mateschitz. And there's no doubt, Simon, that they will be racing for Dietrich this weekend.
So if Verstappen is not on pole, then Leclerc is guaranteed to get the most poles. I can't imagine them prancing their front car. They aren't physically capable. I think they are, to be honest. I think they are, and that's taken them from course. So if they start off in the lower formulas at a good at the right age for development, they will be strong enough.
I think it's going to be close for
to take a lot of them.
I think that Lewis is going to be up there in the
Are you Max fans? No, I'm not. I'm not Rock. I'm a McLaren boy. Lando's my man. But no, so I think if they're nurtured and they're developed at a young enough time, then yes, they're going to be physically capable of it. The cars, I don't think, are as physically demanding as they used to be.
Penalty in the back half of the track. So there's a lot to consider as a driver, and
they're still physical, absolutely, but I don't think they're as demanding. But I think some women, fuck me, I think are more than capable.
We know it's going to be a
more than capable.
440,000 fans expected. The atmosphere is building, and qualifying is next here in Austin.
Right, I'm going to get myself a quick drink, guys. I'll be right back.
Quick, smart decision-making will put your team at the top of the table.
Absolutely right, Martin. Formula One on Sky Sports, sponsored by Workday, a system for finance, HR and planning.
Progress is a race that has no end. Because after every finish line, another challenge awaits. How can we increase efficiency? How can we optimize performance? How can we continue to push innovation in a sport at the forefront of technology? This is how. Aramco, one of the world's leading energy and chemicals companies, a proud partner of the Aston Martin Formula One team. Together, we aim to drive the development of more efficient engines, advanced fuels and lubricants, and non-metallic materials. Our joint R&D efforts aim to meet Formula One's sustainable fuels target by 2025. Discover how we're driving progress on the track and on the road. Aramco, powered by How.
We're back.
Welcome to Texas, everyone. Welcome to the Circuit of the Americas, and welcome to qualifying ahead of the 10th US Grand Prix to take place here at COTA on the outskirts of the city of Austin, which you can see in the background. It's the 42nd Formula One World Championship United States Grand Prix, and it's the 61st World Championship Grand Prix to take place in the United States. And here's the track that we're going to be qualifying around this afternoon. 3.42 miles, 20 corners, 11 to the left and 9 to the right, DRS zones along the long back straight and the main straight leading up to turn 1, where the track rises to 30 meters in the sky and where the big flag is showing a huge tailwind through the high-speed section. The 3-tyre compound, C4, C3 and C2, the soft, the medium and the hard. Those inters and wets won't be needed. No chance of rain according to the weather forecast. The sun is out, although setting slightly in the sky as we approach 5 o'clock on a track that Red Bull took pole last time out here with Max Verstappen and went on to win the race. Max Verstappen fastest in FP3 in the final practice session, but since that session, some terribly sad news that the co-owner of Red Bull and the man whose motorsport passion led to the acquisition of Racing in 2004.
Let's get ready to quali.
The Minardi team to become Toro Rosso and then AlphaTauri. Dietrich Mateschitz has sadly passed away, a man who loved life, who loved sport and motorsport, Martin Brundle. And this is a very difficult time then for the Red Bull team and all who knew and loved him.
Very sad indeed. He's a very nice man, very humble, very quiet, didn't like to do a mighty business.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me?
Partnership, and he.
Yeah, Rock, who you a fan of? Hey, you got 13 people watching. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Just an Average Sim Racer. It is the watch along of the Formula One Grand Prix from the United States, Texas, Austin. It's Q1 coming up.
They might clinch.
Be sure to join into the chat. Says what you're thinking. There is no live feed. Only have the audio on in the background, so you might hear it. It might not over my incessant talking. On screen will be something very similar for you all to engage. It's also a little bit of a trolley thing.
It is sad. He's been incredible and brave as well, and going out and getting two teams in Formula One. You know, with Toro Rosso, as it used to be called, AlphaTauri.
Here we go, guys.
NASCAR and junior racing and football teams and TV channels, and just absolutely went for it. And it's very sad for his family, his friends, and very much for the team. We saw them going into the hospitality area to be told the news, and you can see the sadness and the tears from many people in the Red Bull team, because you know he's been everything, hasn't he?
He'll try
Red Bull
and match it to the second.
He hasn't held back, and you know he's played a key role in the success of today's Formula One.
Well, Formula One has very much benefited from his passion. He came into the sport with Sauber in 1995. As I mentioned, he bought Jaguar Racing in November 2004. Red Bull Racing entered the next season. Minardi,
that's the what ifs, isn't it? That is the big what ifs.
Together, those two teams.
Ferrari have fucked their own stuff up as well. That's the thing. Ferrari strategy has just been absolutely rubbish, to put it simply.
This weekend, another Constructors' Championship coming their way. They go racing for Dietrich week, but this weekend especially, everything on the track will be for him.
Yeah, to give you a tiny flavour, I followed him in a car one night to a big event, a big Red Bull event that he held at the Austrian Grand Prix, and everybody was running around because it was the governor turned up, and they wanted to take his car and park it, and he was like, I parked my own car, and went off into a field somewhere, and I parked next to him, but he just absolutely had no airs and graces in that respect.
Dietrich Mateschitz, rest in peace and thank you. Grid penalties for this weekend.
It's
one of his drivers, Sergio Perez, gets a 5.
It's an odd one, isn't it? It's
penalty for taking a new internal.
Would Red Bull being as dominant if ever?
Alonso also with 5 places, and Charles
It's 4 seconds ahead of mine.
a new turbocharger along with the ICE, a 10-place grid penalty.
Right, here we go, guys. On screen for your delights is a simmed, a virtual qualifying session for you all. Enjoy.
Blowing in the breeze there and through the high-speed section.
It's been made in Assetto Corsa.
Drivers to contend with.
This is going to be a tough session. You know, we've been talking accountancy, haven't we, all weekend, and cost count.
So it's it automatically changes between cars. It automatically shows you times. It automatically creates a leaderboard. I don't have to touch it. This is a video. This is what I created earlier on, or last night, so while I was working on it. So it's quite clever. It's 5 seconds behind the live feed, so not too bad. The first session, well, I'll leave it to you guys if you want to keep a tab on it, if you can see it.
On his crash helmet for this weekend. He's not the only one with tribute helmets, because we're here in Texas, Ted, where it's bigger and better than anywhere else.
No doubt about that. Yes, hello Crofty, hello Martin, hello everybody. It's 5 p.m. local time in Texas, and
just wait for a few people to get some laps on the board here.
Baking hot. It's got
Turn the volume up in a bit. Can you hear it okay?
Day in the pit lane. I don't know how this is happening. Expecting the afternoon to cool off there, Crofty, but it's really hot down here now. So the sun absolutely shining, not a cloud in the sky. Some high cirrus maybe, but yeah, certainly cooking the track. And, well, expectations are high. A lot of drivers, Daniel Ricciardo, one of them, who are going into the session with a little bit of pace to find. Yuki Tsunoda had a little bit of problems earlier.
Charles is a good driver. He made a few mistakes himself this season.
Schumacher lost some time with the gearbox issue.
That's been the problem.
Poor Zhou Guanyu with a hydraulic problem, I can confirm now. Made his running in FP3 just before the session highly curtailed. So yeah, Zhou Guanyu straight out, just wants to get going.
My leaderboard's pretty fat compared to the official, isn't it?
3 laps earlier on. So yeah,
got the bottom one pretty accurate. As a placement.
It's Zhou Guanyu going for a lap, his first visit to the circuit of the Americas, the man who set the fastest lap in Suzuka.
15 people watching. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. We are watching the watch along with the Formula 1 qualifying. Q1 is live. The audio of the commentary is the live commentary. And the on screen is from Assetto Corsa being simulated.
Imagine for a Q2 spot.
It's something very, very different.
Well done. We can watch him now through turn 11. The track.
I would like to do it for the race tomorrow, but I'm not going to get a chance because I'm watching it live with the wife. So.
It falls away, rises, falls away again, and then you've got to get your braking point absolutely spot on for turn 12.
And no one's got a representative lap yet, but here comes. Can I pronounce it? Ho Zhang Hu.
Towards the end of the lap as well. Quite a technical section. Coming up, you've got
I don't know what colour the Alpines are running this week. I went with the pink because I didn't actually bother checking, and I probably should have done. Both liveries in Assetto Corsa.
Even if they struggle to get round it thereafter. A very, very
Latifi,
right-hander.
second on that track.
16, 17 and 18. Modelled on the long left-hander.
Now, but the times that the AI puts in are slower than what they do in the real world. So, well, they should be anyway.
Great speed earlier on.
Yeah, a lot slower. So Zoe puts in a 37.7. That'll get battered by at least a second or second and a half, probably.
It's always a little bit bumpy, and I like that. That's what the suspension is for, and it also challenges, makes the cars move around, makes them spark a little bit.
Kevin Magnussen was finding his rear end moving around a little more than he would have wanted there. Mick Schumacher with a 1:37.8, fastest time so far, 7/100ths faster than Zhou Guanyu. Alex Albon, third fastest, and on board now with Kevin Magnussen. Love this.
There will be a little bit of audio overlap between the two.
Hear them dropping down the gears, going over the rumble strips. They're very, very aggressive, those rumble strips, making a huge noise. Magnussen goes fourth fastest or slowest of the 4 times so far.
I would think coming into that final corner is a little bit difficult to pick your braking point, actually.
Schumacher goes first, Albon third, Magnussen fourth. Interesting.
This there, right into the driver's eyes.
The Bulls.
2 Red Bulls out, line astern. Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez.
Max going past Perez. They're going to be drafting over down the back straight.
I wonder, even with the Red Bulls, which seems
drafted,
quite aggressive,
it's an American term, isn't it?
Outlap this season, just how carefully they're going to need to put the outlap in, because these tyres, Charles Leclerc was saying in practice, lasting 1 lap and 1 lap only.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to take too much life out of them. They all
Schumacher made a stupid career decision.
The surface temperature.
With Schumacher, Mick. Maybe he did. Chaps, if you want to give me predictions in the chat, top 3 predictions. Mine, bizarrely, has gone off for Sim, so I'm not going to give mine away. Put your 1, 2, 3 in the chat. Who you think will qualify where? Mick, did he reject Ferrari? He rejected a drive. I don't know. I think he was let go by the driver program. I think Mick Schumacher was. We're on which one are you on about? I'll say which.
Just watch this. This is absolutely brilliant. A Formula 1 car at its best. Direction change.
It's not as good as Maggots and Beckett's.
And each of those corners just get a little bit.
Go on, Martin. Look at that. Verstappen already half a second up on Schumacher's time.
Over a completely blind.
And Perez goes only half a second slower than Verstappen.
To the turn 12 hairpin. Again, lots of overtaking opportunities there tomorrow. You've got to square that off. The front of the Red Bull not working particularly well there. Ran a bit wide up to the curve. Stay on the right-hand side because it's a left-hander at the bottom. No point in wasting any meters at all. Your car's 5 meters long. You don't want to waste a few meters and waste a car length. So rotate the car, keep it inside, pick up the throttle as early as you can, and just keep sweeping through this section. And this is where the
Verstappen 1.1 up.
So screaming and hurt.
Nailing it already.
It's where you need your tyres as well for traction, as well as grip through the corner. And this lovely sequence of corners aids overtaking.
I missed the Greg's one.
When it comes to the race, Max Verstappen got past Kimi Räikkönen.
You know my drink over.
They took that podium away from him because he did it.
He's a 10th down on Verstappen's time. All the traffic. Oh, what the Alpine colours wrong for this week.
Inside, going slowly to start there.
Blue and pink, not pink and blue.
Crosses the line
1.9, 35.8. Nailed it, Verstappen. Perez 36.2.
Has had a very good first sector. Sergio Perez goes second fastest, and Leclerc pushing with a new internal.
Russell's 4 tenths down in Verstappen, and Leclerc goes fastest.
As he came out of the last corner, but it was overall a good enough lap. You'd say Leclerc used up the life of that tyre in qualifying terms absolutely perfectly there.
Now, what of the Mercedes? They've been about 0.2 of a second off the pace. Jenson Button was saying in final practice he thinks this is a track that's Lewis Hamilton's strongest track. George Russell losing a bit of the rear as he
Keep the guts up, guys.
0.4 of a second off the pace, goes fourth fastest. But here's his teammate hustling around the penultimate corner. Do you agree with Jenson? Is this Lewis Hamilton's strongest circuit?
I think it is. I think he's
Really?
around here. He's not too much of a slouch.
Hamilton goes third. He's 3 tenths off.
Make the most of it.
Sorry, 4 tenths. Yeah, 3 tenths off.
There's no doubt about it. Mercedes are right in the hunt here, but you would think it'd be easy enough, wouldn't you, to find 1/4 of a second at these speeds at over 20 corners, but it's so hard, and the harder you push, the more mistakes you make.
If we stop the count,
If you're not very good enough.
Verstappen will be on pole, Lewis Hamilton will be alongside him on the front row, and George Russell will be lining up third on the grid.
So Hamilton's, I would say, is out of position, but Russell's done well. So they're all within 4 tenths, the top 5. Bottas slaps in a 36.8 to be 1 second off the lead. Alonso goes 36.4, so he's 7 tenths down. Ocon goes not very well. So we got Carlos has not put a lap in yet.
Puts himself out of the bottom 5, so that leaves Albon, Joe, and Mick Schumacher in that bottom 5.
I know many of you know this, but of course this is only about getting rid of 5 drivers and cars. It doesn't count for anything else in that respect, other than getting ready.
Yeah.
That Haas was on the racing line in the 17, man. It was really dangerous.
It was a bit dodgy when it was.
But he wasn't, and then he was. He He was trying to keep over to the right, but then just drifted at the wrong moment into a more...
Problem when they start backing up. I don't think any Formula 1 car should be backing up. Let's put it out there, guys. Should a Formula 1 anyone back off before the lap? You know, no. I think everyone should just race at a particular speed or drive at a particular speed. Let the tyres get overheated and let's make them struggle a little bit.
For Romeo, and the two Aston Martins have looked pretty handy as well.
Managed to get both the cars into the top 8 in the final practice. Valtteri Bottas, 2019 pole setter here. He won from pole, of course.
Sainz was up in the first sector. He's green in the second. That's not Ricardo's time, sorry, not anyone else's.
Another strong track for a driver in Valtteri Bottas's case. Carlos Sainz goes to the top of the pile with a 1:34.
Oh, Carlos.
So when you hook up a lap,
35.2.
make quite a big difference. As Carlos Sainz
Mental. Go on, Carlos. It's 5 tenths quicker.
Early stages.
I also drives like a Formula E driver. I watch occasional Formula E. I do like Russell. He's smooth. He's smooth, but he's not quite at the pace of the second half of the season as he did in the first half against Hamilton. So he needs to develop and evolve himself a bit more.
Top 5 start at the Circuit of the Americas, where he's always scored in races, but hasn't had particularly the best qualifying ever.
So Carlos
Middle man Norris. Norris is in 12th. Ricardo is 18th. Yeah, Ricardo.
Say that paid some dividends and gave up the first lap and then attacked.
Being told he might have made a mistake at turn 1, which led into that preparation lap.
Latifi, 16th. Is that qualified Albon at the moment?
It needs an extra lap of preparation.
6 minutes 40 seconds remaining of quali.
Because they're right on a knife edge in terms of performance.
Yeah, maybe he found out by mistake. That was a very good way of doing it.
Yeah. Logan Sargent, we'll see you next year. Well, we'll see him.
If come on, guys, don't he's been announced as a driver if he gets enough points.
Top 6 in the F2
it's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen.
Points to become the latest Williams driver. That was confirmed this morning by his new team, Jos Capita.
Yeah, it's good news. Good news for the team. Good news for him. And we have another boy band member on the grid, don't we, in Formula 1? And he, like all the others, is very good with the media too.
Yeah, he certainly is. Logan Sargent from
Logan's American.
Lauderdale, born on New Year's Eve, in the year 2021.
I can't pronounce that one. FT here.
And in Austria,
yeah, I've got no chance of understanding what that message is, I'm afraid, Duck.
Joe Guan Yu is at the bottom of the pile, as you can see on your screen.
Please, we type in English for my pleasure.
Track limits.
Apologies for the coughing tonight, guys. I've got a really bad cough. I've had for weeks now. Just not a shift. It's not as sore as painful as it was. It's just annoying. So hopefully we'll go soon.
I like the way race control are doing it. I think they're saying in practice, fine, go over. That's entirely up to you. Fill your boots, but there will come a time. That time will be the start of Q1.
So guys, if you're just joining into the stream, hello and welcome to Just an Average Sim Racer. We normally stream iRacing. I'll take this interlude. Everyone's in the pits, not going out yet. We normally stream iRacing and other sim racing related shenanigans. Albon. Go on, Albon, light it up.
Yeah, Lewis turn 2.
Oh, Lewis. It's terrible. We normally stream those kind of things, mainly. But tonight, as per the US Grand Prix last year, because of the timings work out well, we can do a live watch-along of a session. And thankfully qualified for 11 o'clock PM UK time, so we'll do that. On screen, you have, obviously, me. Hello, people. And then the video to that side is Assetto Corsa, or video of Assetto Corsa I recorded last night, running a Formula 1 sim at the same track, in the same track conditions, with what was the forecasted weather for today, with official timing banners and stuff like that, looking rather tasty. Running a full simulated session, so enjoy that. It's not the live footage of the stream, of the qualifying, the audio is, so I've got that playing on the computer, with legitimate feed. I am paying for this. So yeah, enjoy a simulated qualifying session and see what happens. Right, they're just getting out for their second run, so looking at it. Sainz sitting top of the pile.
Lots coming out onto onto the track. Lando Norris, you mentioned, 1:37.0 at the moment, was the quickest driver here in Q1 in 2019. Daniel Ricciardo, his teammate there, and
let's see what happens.
Getting past Kevin Magnussen as they descend down to the hill. So, what do you need? About 2 minutes for an outlap here.
I did set in Assetto Corsa, you're wondering, because it is the same car that everyone is driving in the mod, in the sim, which is a bit annoying because there isn't individual models, but that's just the nature of the game. It's not F1 2022, which I could have technically done because it was free this weekend, but I didn't want to.
Away from being 11. That's how critical.
And so I had to manipulate the drivers. So you all got their own drivers into stats and work out, okay, if this person was this person, that person was this, etc., etc. So it kind of gives how they drive in comparison to how it should appear in the real world. It didn't quite work out in the first sector, as you can probably tell. So the simulated version compared to the live version happening right now, it's got Perez on pole, which that seems pretty reasonable. It's got Alonso, Albon, Zhou Guangzhou, Carlos Sainz, Russell, Ricciardo, Vettel, Bottas, Ocon, Verstappen, Stroll, Latifi, Leclerc, Magnussen, Hamilton, Schumacher, Norris, Gasly and Tsunoda. So a little bit different to the real world, and I didn't tweak anything. So this is just probably traffic and all this kind of stuff that caught out some drivers so far in the virtual one. But in the real world, it looks pretty like normal, to be honest.
But well done on another great campaign.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a shame they're not racing this weekend, but she pretty much dominated that one.
She certainly did. Right, Yuki Tsunoda, can you dominate the track? Bumpy it is, Martin, on that approach into turn one.
Yeah. Drive around them.
I say it with a smile on my face, though, you know, because I love it. I'm not sure Yuki does so much, but I love it.
It's awesome, isn't it, on board of the cars there. That
these cars are very stiff.
The movement of the car and the suspension looks absolutely awesome.
It's when they start jumping off the bumps and losing control of the cars when they're entitled to get up.
It's pretty special through there.
For now, it's a case of managing.
So guys, if you're liking what you see, obviously sim racing is typically what the name of the is what we typically race on iRacing. Be sure to subscribe, like it, like the video, do all you want to do, leave a comment, you know, be my guest. More the merrier. Thanks for finding me.
Yeah, I think they're on used tyres, the Mercedes and Fernando Alonso as well, out on. Well,
so what we're looking at, Latifi is a driver at risk. How does that work?
10 miles, 12 miles or something.
Where's the Aston? Is that doing all right?
Used is a relative expression.
They go through a slightly more of a rough usage than your
Excuse me.
Yuki Tsunoda, decent lap.
Mute every time I cough, muted every 5 seconds.
Good enough to get out of the bottom 5. You've got to keep it together. Daniel Ricciardo needs to pick up some pace. He's been out in Q1 twice in the last 4 races. He's got to find.
And seen Gross in the live streams. It's weird to have a qualifier session at 11 PM UK time.
On that cut-off mark, his teammate Pierre Gasly goes 8th fastest now, improves by about 0.3 of a second over Yuki Tsunoda. Sebastian Vettel is right in there, currently 9th at the moment. Checkered flag is out. These are the laps they're going to have to.
Danny's always in trouble. I'm sorry, but Danny Ricciardo is. Oh, he's out there. He's jumped himself out there.
Clearance from the bottom 5.
Ocon, he's the man to watch. He's going to jump someone. Yep. Oh, Lando. Lando out.
Not a great lap there.
Is he on track?
Esteban Ocon, he is very much at risk.
Oh, Lando, man.
Jumps out of that bottom 5, and Ocon looking nervously over his shoulder at the likes now of Lando Norris and Zhou Guanyu.
Very much nervously looking ahead, though. He needs to get this lap finished. And
oh, Norris smashes in a 36.4. Good man, Lando. Come on, son. Now Danny's back at risk. Ocon's finished. Schumacher, Latifi, Albon, Zhou. Yeah. I think he... Oh, Joe did it. Good man. 36.6. Albon, driver at risk. Good man. Magnussen back in. Mickey Schumacher needs to do something. Nope. Bailed it. Latifi. Here he comes, the GOAT.
US Grand Prix. He's going to leave Williams at the end of the season. Would dearly love another Another progression from Q1 this season, crosses the line now, and he does
not improve.
For him, which is a relief to his teammate Alex Albon, who was the driver that could have been knocked out, but the big surprise is there. Not just Daniel Ricciardo, but Esteban Ocon out.
Absolutely.
So Danny out again.
Total
usual.
For Esteban, for Ricciardo.
Esteban out.
Because
so, and two, one of my one of the ones have gone.
As we watch Mick Schumacher presumably locking an axle and a rear axle, and then pirouetting, checking out where he's just been, and off he goes again. Lap ruined.
Lewis Hamilton is going to have a lap time deleted just when we watch this. That 1:35.878, which was enough for fourth fastest, has been deleted as we see the pirouetting Mick Schumacher. He's definitely out of qualifying. Nicholas Latifi out of qualifying. Esteban Ocon will have his worst start here since 2016 when he was 22nd on the grid. Daniel Ricciardo, a third Q1 elimination in the last 5 races, and Kevin Magnussen, sadly for him, also out of qualifying. And I'm just waiting to see where Lewis Hamilton might end up.
Okay, Daniel, so cars eliminated, we're 17. Understood. Just real.
No, it's not unreal, mate. It's shit.
It's disappointment for Daniel Ricciardo. I'm just
I'm gonna lie, it's
shit. Once he gets his lap time deleted, I think he should be okay.
Yeah, I don't think he'll even drop a place, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's still marginally quicker than Perez was, with a 1:36.148. So Hamilton, anyway, comfortably stays.
Oh, here we go.
So
here we go. Here's the bots. Here's the bot chat coming right in. Oh dear. Hang on. Where's my thingy? Bloody hell.
You just never know what's around the corner.
Drivers have to adapt quickly or get left behind. Formula One on Sky Sports, sponsored by Workday, a system for finance, HR and planning.
Is that when you made it as a YouTube streamer, when you get all the hot adult chatting stuff coming in? There we go. Not had that one before. Right, so that's Q1 out of the way. Q2 coming up.
Accenture. Let there be change.
They were all yellow.
Bloody hell, fire. That's fast.
I wrote a song for you. And it was cold.
He'd have been all over that, wouldn't he? He would have been all over that.
I took my turn. Oh, what a thing to have done.
Trying to find a file now, which I can't find it.
Yellow. Your skin. Oh, yeah, your skin. Turn to something beautiful.
As official tour logistics partner for Coldplay, we're working together for a more sustainable world tour. For more information and tour, go to our website.
That one.
I am not like them or the others. Don't back down, I don't run for cover. I'm a boss, top dog, no time for beginners. Only winners, and the crowd goes. I go faster.
Bold design.
So I just
innovative technology.
now I'm fiddling around with something on the stream just to get the next one started.
Award-winning Vauxhall Mocha Electric.
Just make it bigger for you guys. Did we get raided again? No, we didn't get raided. We had chatbots decide to come in and join us.
Maybe someone went out of the track limits. Yeah, just have a look at some of the laps. Who knows? Copy.
There we go.
Kevin Magnussen didn't want to get out of the car straight away, just in case. Lewis Hamilton did have a lap time deleted, but he didn't drop a place. 1:36.1 was ahead of Sergio Perez. That was the lap time that would have counted. Sadly for Daniel Ricciardo, he is out for the.
Sadly for Danny. Danny, you're not fast enough this year, mate.
Andreas Seidel is joining us live on the pit wall. Massive disappointment for you and for Daniel. Can you tell us any more about his lap, Andreas?
Yes, it was shit.
Yeah, definitely big disappointment. I think it was not easy for Daniel to get the lap together. He was struggling with the rear, which is a shame because he's shown some good pace so far this weekend. Yeah, not great, but now focus on Lando. And,
well, Lando had the pace to. He had the pace to be in the top 8. Do you think he's got the pace to carry that through to Q3 now?
Well, if you look at the lap times, between a lot of cars, but I think if we get our lap in, there's definitely a chance to get through to quali3, and that's the aim.
Are you hearing anything from the drivers, Andreas, about the low sun in the final corner?
Listen to what they're talking about.
Bumps, or what are they saying generally out there?
Exactly, he never showed good pace.
About the sun being an
first practice, maybe. I think he was top 10 first practice, but yeah, what's first practice?
It's quite windy out there. I think that's the biggest issue in terms of getting the laps in without any mistakes. So I think that's the biggest challenge.
Andreas, thanks ever so much.
The thing with
the sun's streaming straight into our eyes at the moment.
If that had been Eddie Jordan back in the Jordan days, he would turn around and say that was just a shit lap, basically. Yeah, it wasn't good.
They're more than welcome to come.
When it comes down,
you are just joining us back home, and you are a Sky Q or a Sky Glass customer. You can watch the highlights alongside the live action by pressing your red button. Qualifying 2 is underway, and you can see where the sun is shining in from, and the first floor above the pits there in bright sunshine, with the sun sort of sinking away right at the final corner. The sun is setting down over there. Ted Kravitz is down at McLaren. Ted.
Well, I'm just down in the pit lane, and Kevin Magnussen, I can tell you, has now left his car, so he stopped wishing some penalties on
when all the kids drove.
He is out in Q1, so he's doing the old walk of shame down the pit lane, down towards the FIA weigh scales and the interview pen. Got some info on Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, he hasn't had a particularly straightforward weekend as a whole. He's trouble with some brake issues earlier today. He's lost track time, and just complained about the rear of the car. I don't know if you heard that radio message earlier, Crofty. He's just saying the rear was just nowhere, no rear grip. But he did tell us, I've got some good news that Daniel Ricciardo fans, he might not have a race drive for next year, but we do understand that he has closed out a reserve driver drive next year. So he will be, he told us on Thursday, he will be around about the Formula One paddock next year.
Any news as to what team that might be?
I thought you might ask me that.
Well, it's a pretty obvious question, even for me, Ted.
I mean, we thought Mercedes, because they now have a vacancy, given that Nick De Vries, their reserve driver, is going to AlphaTauri. But I'm told it's not Mercedes, so which only kind of leaves the teams. Yeah,
there we go.
Return to Red Bull.
I used to rule the world.
Reserve driver on hand at every race.
Well, we've been saying for a few weeks that talks have been taking place.
We have.
And he has been chatting.
Yeah, so
it will be quite.
We'll get the next one up for you guys.
Yeah, good to hear what he confirmed.
Bit behind, 2 minutes.
That he will be around and about.
Skip it on.
It's got to be good news, Martin Bramble, because an experienced man like that, you don't want to lose from the sport.
Yeah, it's great news for us and his personality. I don't know. I'd have thought for him, it'd be better having a clean break and then coming back. Maybe just keeping your foot in the door somewhere, doing some simulator work, but trudging around a not participating takes it's a pretty tough old mindset you need for that.
It certainly is. Right, Alex.
Not the audio down. Such dominating the audio.
Remaining Williams. Hoping to progress to progressing, I should say, to Q2 for the 8th
I don't want
in the last
too much volume from the on stream.
Try and make it into Q3. Let's see how that Williams is handling.
Right, here we go, guys.
Of course, but
Q2.
Using this as a way to celebrate owning the.
Does it look all right? Looks all right.
It's a very nice barbecue for everyone in the paddock as well. At lunchtime. 26.0 dead for Alex Albot through that first sector. That looked a little bit twitchy as he rose over the crest.
Yeah, it's a bit crosswind and tailwind through some of that. So he's had a couple of moments where he had to
crosswind and tailwind.
Good.
Just normal wind then, basically.
Through the lap. Alex driving very, very nicely indeed. We'll settle down with the Williams team now for a season or two as well. And he's showing fastest, but that's fastest, of course, of
everyone, because it's the first car on the track.
And again, the nose of that launching in to the slower corners. So at the back end,
I like Albon. Albon's pretty good
as well. That's where you take a really wide turn in to turn 15, short straight then to the triple right-hander. And again, you can just see the back end of the car dancing around, but it's got to turn somehow. And this is a corner that's very easy to go out of track limits, but fine. Then we go into the sun, rotate it into the final corner, be patient on the throttle, stay right for the shortest run to the line.
Cheers, Ant.
Does a 37.1 compared to a 36.9 in Q1.
But
a bit slow there, Albon.
A little better than Yuki Tsunoda through the first.
It's funny because Albon's the one on the sim and watching it up.
But by
it's about
to the second,
3 seconds slower, I think it is overall.
Of the Alpha Tower.
3.5 seconds different between the sim and real life. The sim is slower.
This season,
Which I'm surprised actually.
Here's Pierre Gasly then on his way to turn 1. Plenty of ways.
Quite a few people watching. Hello everybody, welcome. Your predictions in the...
Tried my best. Always maximum forward, shape 5, pushed all the braking. So, you know, I'm trying my best. If they don't wake up, that's my fault.
Sorry, I'm saving that replay that just came up. I tried my best.
The temperature.
I need that soundbite.
Tyres or brakes?
For the stream.
Maximum forward.
Yeah, I think that's on the brake. That's on the brake bias, probably. But he's trying
to try and wake those tyres up.
To try to get.
Let him talk, Crofty. You're not a racing driver.
And then they're locking. I think you're right, Crofty. I think it's tyre temperature rather than brake temperature on that. And he was complaining about that in Suzuka badly as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Very concerned about. Just cannot get the front tyre.
TF1 doing a watch on as well tonight.
Valtteri Bottas goes fastest, 1:36.7, and behind him, Zhou Guanyu, his Alfa Romeo teammate Sebastian Vettel has just had a lap time deleted. Vettel trying to get into Q3 for the second race running after reaching the top 10 in Suzuka, but he is going to have to try again because that lap time has gone from him. Charles Leclerc has just put in a 25.7 for the first sector, matching Max Verstappen through that first sector. George Russell picking up pace in the middle part of the lap. We're on board with Russell, and we can see Max Verstappen heading to the sunshine at turn 12 as well.
Yes, the Red Bulls and Ferraris are on used tyres in this phase, and Mercedes are on new tyres, so you might get a discrepancy here, really. It might not be the true picture.
Oh, I need that overlay, don't I? Do it on the on-track one, that'd be good.
Verstappen, very fine middle sector for him. Russell round the final corner. Andretti, he goes, trying not to slide his way over the white line. And the 1:35.6 for him. That's a big improvement from the first part.
So we're looking at Russell, 35.6. Jesus.
Fourth fastest. And unlike George Russell, not finding improvement.
Max goes quicker. Of course he does.
Top of the pile.
Norris slow, Bottas slow. Everyone's different league at the moment, isn't there? Top six drivers, different league.
Behind his teammate by a few hundredths. And Charles Leclerc now goes ahead of Max Verstappen by what, nearly 5/100ths of a second. That is how close it is. And we've not even thrown Carlos Sainz into the mix as Fernando Alonso goes fifth fastest. Sainz crosses the line in third.
Yeah, you assume that.
My quality has just deteriorated on my stream in terms of visual quality, so it's not as good.
Very close up.
Maybe it'll come back for me.
We've really seen Russell ahead of Hamilton, isn't it? It's looked so far that Lewis Hamilton has had the edge on his young teammate around here.
So if you're watching the sim as well, the on-screen sim, obviously it is a generated AI. So this session was a bit more realistic in terms of timings and the people who you'd expect to be there. But of course, we've already knocked people out. So there's a big scouts in the last session. There's no Hamilton, there's no Leclerc, there's no Norris. Both our Toro Rossos are out.
It's good.
You know, the Tiffy, Bottas, Zhou, Stroll, Gazzy was in, sorry. Who else did we lose then?
It's our field of play.
There was 3 big names, I think, or Russell, or Hamilton. Hamilton, Leclerc, and Norris.
After about 7
and what else? I can't remember.
Curbs.
Must be Mick Schumacher. And Tsunoda, yeah. So we were left with, obviously, the Tiffy, Bottas, Zhou, Stroll, Gasly, Magnussen, Perez, Albon, Ricardo, Russell, Vettel, Ocon, Alonso, Sainz, and Verstappen.
Introduced and Vegas, obviously, for next year, that would the attendance at the Circuit of the Americas suffer? Not a bit of it. More and more people every year.
It's not that long.
Tweak the move of time forward, so it's 18 minutes for the first session with a 7-minute break.
That would impact.
Move a time forward for the second session, so the light changes. You can see how the light is creating some longer shadows.
The Americas watching on ESPN.
Looked at the forecast in advance of what the temperature might drop by, and based on the previous year's data,
on ESPN.
Drop the temperature down on track, so the track times might be a little bit slower.
We're very excited about
very accurate kind of sim that I actually put on this.
Off to Vegas in a couple of weeks for the official launch there.
What does Pharrell Williams look like? Man, seriously, no one wears glasses that looks like that. You
as well, whether
fucking pleb.
Or not. On the guest list yet.
Pharrell Williams, man. Gee.
You could still be on.
I know he's always at a Formula 1 race.
Next year?
No, 5th of November this year. Big launch party.
So I'm not there. Are we not at a race?
No. It's the week in between Mexico and Brazil.
There you go.
I'm hosting. Doing the launch. He bought a tux for it as well. Very excited.
I saw you on Instagram showing off with your DJ.
I don't think you're far wrong there, Ramp.
Yeah. I've got the Spanx underneath it as well.
I don't think you're far wrong. Right, so we're in a break between cars going out, so we've got some nice on-track action happening in the sim.
And emerging just over a tenth of a second faster as well. Ted Kravitz, down to you.
Excellent. I'm glad you're wearing a tux. I was worried when you say to Las Vegas there was going to be the word strip.
The SimCon footage would not be possible without a great bit of software found called
good pace in the Mercedes. Just
something I can't remember.
Carlos Sainz, who he's battling with in the Drivers' Championship. But yeah,
oh God, it was AutoCam
good showing
and something else.
But earlier on, but yeah, a few tenths.
As we get a shout out, I know what I was shouting.
They're probably not in it for the first row, or maybe even the second row, but certainly around there. Maybe, do you know what? Maybe that's
streaming sweet.
Maybe the second is a good target for Mercedes in this session. Got to say, well,
yeah, some really good apps in there
as well. So far, Bottas and Zhou Guanyu in the top 10.
Really impressed with it.
Absolutely.
Auto camera, auto keep the car in the pit lane. So my car, which is on track, you can just see at the bottom there. I was a safety car. Never came on track, so it kept the action on track. It changed the cameras based on-screen action, times, accidents, etc., etc. And then obviously rotates between cars automatically, camera views, and all that so much.
Yeah,
the more mods for the track, like the more camera angles that are built into the track, etc., the better. The more really authentic it looks, and I think they've done a really good job.
Yeah.
It's a free app,
speed moving around,
and I just happened to see it on a
kind of that happy hour.
A forum. I think it was. I was looking for something else. Yeah, not in relation to it, just in general.
This is where you
I think it was to do with track layout last night. I was like, ooh, this exists. I remember last year when I was looking, I didn't find it. It didn't come up. It was a particular thing I was looking for. Then I found it this year. If I had it for last year's US Grand Prix, I would have been laughing.
Of Lando Norris, Valtteri Bottas right on the cusp too.
Yeah, really good job. Really good job it done.
12 minutes to go. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and George Russell, Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton. So the 3 teams, as it were, in the garage for the moment, but out into the
right, out comes some cars.
Sun comes Lewis Hamilton.
Verstappen's on that lap.
Max Verstappen has made his way onto the track too.
Tear-offs must be really good on the visors now, because I wouldn't want any tear-offs on my visor in these conditions. Because it can sort of magnify the effect of the low sun as well. We're used to.
The version of the sim track is not the most recent one. There is someone has released a skin pack, so there's more advertising hoardings and things like that. And
a couple of times.
But I couldn't bother.
Gasly.
I was just too last minute when I found that.
Brake temperature, tyre temperature.
Right, let's see what happens in the last minute and a half of real life quali.
Some time in his Aston Martin.
At the moment, the sim Verstappen is the fastest with Sainz in second.
Bottom 5. Let's keep up
that lunatic.
This time into turn 1 Pierre.
Thank you for subscribing, Alida Fernandez. Good man.
Really want to go.
Welcome to the Lunatic Club.
He stayed a little bit tighter in. There's a nasty bump in the bottom, although the AlphaTauri rode that quite well. This is a wonderful section.
Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Turning the
Go on, son.
It just, as I said earlier, a little bit.
It's when you just want that grip to stick in, isn't it?
Slower. Hey. Right, you ready?
Beautiful.
All the way over that curve there. On the inside, so
I love Martins and Brundles as well. It was alright, but it wasn't really that good. Troll.
Crank it round, and as soon as you can get it straight, you get.
Oh, we got Overducks 222 subscribers. Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated.
And accelerating the car.
Alex Albon moves himself into the top 10, goes 8th fastest overall. We're on board, riding with Pierre Gasly. 4 previous starts in the USA, never scored a point.
What camera angle the sim doesn't give me? It is possible to create a camera and do it, but I ain't doing that.
As it stands, but not by much.
Latifi go in the pits on the sim. We've got 16 seconds of real world, so Leclerc fastest, Verstappen sights Russell.
Atari, to be honest, it's not really.
Stroll's going quick.
See if he can still pull a lap.
In terms of moving out of the top 10, he's 7 tenths up.
On his Aston Martin.
Gasly's down at the bottom there. Vettel, he's a good lap. He's up on Bottas.
So these laps are going to have to count.
Doing all right.
Gasly, the driver, at risk.
You'll see some people move around. Where's my man Norris? He's in the drop zone.
I don't
But he's up on Gasly's time. They're all up. They're all doing it.
Vettel flirting with the track limits once again.
So Vettel goes 9th.
In his Aston Martin. Behind him, his teammate Lance Stroll.
Come on, boys. Let's do this.
Stroll never.
This is all about the top 10. Stroll 7th. Good man. Norris. Come on, boy. No, he's not on do it.
No, Norris.
Oh, he did. 9th.
So Sebastian Vettel,
That was tight.
Alex Albon,
Alonso's safe.
with Bottas and Zhou Guanyu behind him and in the.
Bottas, Zhou, and Tsunoda.
So Albon and Norris.
I'm almost a certified hunter. Almost, mate.
Actually, Valtteri Bottas.
Oh, Bottas.
Pushes Alex Albon into that.
I mean, Zhou's good for this. He's quicker.
Waiting now.
My man Norris is gone, isn't he?
Manage. Albon has carried on actually for another lap, but he's not putting in the times in the first few sectors. Alonso 7th fastest. Still Lando Norris right on the cusp of things.
Zhou's got him. Yep.
Zhou Guanyu goes into the top 10 on his first visit to the second.
Norris, man. There's my Maccas.
Out of qualifying.
Fuck a duck. Both Alphas in the top 10.
Giving it everything until he realises that there's no point carrying on because the sector times just weren't there for him. And he goes out and will line up behind his good friend Lando Norris. McLaren set to lose Daniel Ricciardo in the first part of qualifying, and I'm sure upset to lose Lando Norris in the second part.
Yeah, Lewis.
In my head, Jason, now I was thinking, I'm certified hunter. Have I got a tier in my
still rehearsing there, ready for
thingies?
10 shootout coming up, but
no, you're about something else, aren't you?
Of how well the Alfa Romeo is working around this track with both of them in the top 10.
Video next.
Bottas said this was a big weekend for them. New front wing and a new floor that they didn't get to try out really in Suzuka because of the rain. Well, they were hopeful that they get the benefits from it here, and they certainly have done so far. The two Alphas doing well, but Zhou Guanyu has had a lap time deleted.
Oh.
And that's pushed him out.
Good man, Norris. He's back in the game.
Norris.
Yeah.
That's not the first time this season.
They've deleted Zhou's time.
Someone else having a lap time deleted. Alex
Moist.
Good to see you here. IndyCar champion 2021 and driving in FP1. So that's a real shame.
Didn't know the sound of it, did it?
Who loses that lap time, and we can look once again at Pierre Gasly.
Did he go around again? Oh no, almost.
Struggled all the way around.
Porpoising as well, wasn't he?
Well in free practice.
Is he porpoising? No.
Did a very, very good job there for Team IndyCar, effectively, and did a super job for himself as well.
Why do we keep having this problem? Turn 111 is the same second weekend in a row.
The key there.
I'm saving that one as well. Gasly's absolute gold for the memes tonight.
Gasly. Not very happy. He's out, I'm afraid, as is Zhou Guanyu, as is Yuki Tsunoda, Sebastian Vettel and Alex Albon. Leclerc and Verstappen separated by only 5/100ths of a second.
Oh, Zhou would be heartbroken by that. I'm not, because it means Norris gets
In these conditions, staying ahead requires incredible skill. Formula One on Sky Sports, sponsored by Workday, a system for finance, HR and planning.
Well.
They were all yellow. I came along. I wrote a song for you. Your skin.
Oh, I was attempting to go that high. Something beautiful.
Working together for a more sustainable.
One of the few Coldplay songs I like. Not like your bias towards
Intelligence is the
I'm not
foundation.
biased towards Lando. I'm biased towards McLaren. Lando just happens to be the #1 driver.
Intuition.
Kind of have to be biased to Lando because Danny's going to do fuck all.
Feeling like a hunch and starts looking like confidence. You get when you work with cognizance.
That's the problem.
We engineer
If you had both of them going, I don't care who did it. But when one driver is so far behind the other.
to expectations and act instantly.
Interesting article I think came out on Tuesday or Wednesday this week actually about Lando being approached by Red Bull at the turn of the year, just before he signed his new contract. And they reckon Verstappen has his car set up very oversteery. That's how he likes it. Which apparently is how Lando likes it as well. I kind of thought, did Danny didn't get on as well when Verstappen kind of got ahead of steam about Red Bull. I wonder if that's why it was, because they're trying to set the cars up very similar, and Danny couldn't cope with it, and he's come in, and McLaren have designed a car,
my dad,
arguably for Lando in mind as the #1 driver, which doesn't suit Danny's style, which is not oversteering, maybe. I kind of thought, it's interesting, maybe Danny just can't cope with an oversteery car. He can't adapt his style enough.
I realise how lucky I am.
And there's comparisons there with his Red Bull time and
I hope it's as good as this one.
And with his McLaren time. It's a tough one.
Welcome back to qualifying for the United States Grand Prix, where Zhou Guanyu on his first visit here thought he got his car into the top 10, but sadly he had a lap time deleted, exceeding track limits. Anthony Davidson is down at the Sky Pad and can give us more information.
Yeah, Crofty, yeah, we can look at it here. Here he is in towards turn 12. We'll just slow it down for you because this is close. I do believe he was just out, so I agree with the decision, but if I can just stop it at the right time, there we go. You can just see on that left hand.
That's tight, that, isn't it?
Skypad's not quite working there, but yeah, on the line. The trouble is it blends into the white part of the curb as well, but just out. So that's all it took. So unfortunate for him.
How was that umpire?
You can look at
out.
He made a bit of a mistake here around turn 1.
That was tight, that was.
First lap
Norris is lucky there.
Over the bump, just losing out the rear at first, understeered.
That bump at the top is really vicious, isn't it? Really vicious.
So he lost out to Russell on that first lap because of that moment. And then for all of you Ricciardo fans out there, I've just got this clip of the reason why he went out in Q1. We didn't have time to show at the time. It was that moment there.
Did we get more bots coming then, chaps? Did I miss that? Did we get more of the Tinder bots? Strike into the chat.
Thank you ever so much, Anthony.
Completely missed that.
Guanyu's disappointment. It turns into smiles down at McLaren, where Lando Norris, who was out, is now back in. It's like a qualifying okie-kokie, Andreas Seidel. Breathing a sigh of relief on that one?
Oh yeah, definitely. Challenging qualifying for us so far. Also Lando was struggling.
You know you make it as a streamer when you get Tinder bots.
And I think then also later on
striking up a hot conversation.
So we were lucky and still went through.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder though if you're not better off P11, Andreas, and saving the tyres. But I guess you got enough tyres for the Grand Prix anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
God, that's
as high up as possible.
Formula One, put the timer up nice and early for us this time.
Performance now for 43.
What's your understanding of why the Alfa Romeos have suddenly found where they've found this pace from?
Too early to say, to be honest, to analyze afterwards. But they have shown several times this season that they have a strong car from time to time. So it's not a surprise that they our showing performance like they did today.
Good luck with the final part of qualifying, Andreas. Thanks for joining us this evening. It is evening now. It's about 12 minutes to 6 o'clock, and the light is green. And the driver's out onto.
Let's get it as synced as possible.
Fernando Alonso for
where possible, anyway.
Visits into Q3.
11:19.
The USA, I think he's before now reached Q3 once in his last 5 visits to this track. For Lance Stroll, Q3 for the 3rd time here. 2 of his Q3s this year have been actually in the United States, so he must like it on this side of the Atlantic. I'm sure.
Fully synced.
Sergio Perez was leading the way this time last year.
The sim version.
Until he got beaten by a few on
So in the sim version, we have Vettel, Albon, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Ocon, Alonso, Russell, Sainz, Perez, Verstappen remaining.
With Q3 then, if you've missed the first 2 parts of qualifying.
Quite a bit different to the the real world version. My sim is running a bit interesting, shall we say.
Still Martin Brundle, the world's.
But it did kick out 3 higher ranked drivers quite early doors. So.
To me, blowing the cars down that hill and through that high speed section.
Mighty flag, mighty tower in the background. But so Verstappen will be showing on used tyres, but we think he's on scrub tyres where he literally just did an out and an in, as we call it, not putting too much energy through them. Almost curing the rubber a little bit more.
Right, let's see what the thing is. Do we see a Mercedes upsetting the apple cart a little bit here? Is it possible, or is it just going to be Leclerc, Verstappen again?
Never been on pole at the circuits of the Americas. But if they're going to get pole this weekend, it's Carlos Sainz that's got to do it, because Charles Leclerc has that grid penalty. 10 places for him. Sergio Perez has a 5-place grid penalty. Fernando Alonso also has a 5-place grid penalty too. And it's an important qualifying this, because all 9 of the previous races at the Circuit of the Americas all been won from the front row, which surprised me a lot, because we've had some thrilling races here.
Surprising.
But it's the row that has that advantage.
Not least last year.
Yeah.
It was a real cliffhanger, wasn't it?
I can't remember last year's race.
Different approaches. We saw the Mercedes.
We won't be streaming a watch along with the race tomorrow night, because I'll be watching that with my good lady. It is 8 PM UK time for the start of the race, so that's my evening for that.
And they were expecting him to
I may
upload
a sim
to really nurse those tires, to bring them in and then to seal that life in as long as they possibly can. It's like,
it is possible for me to do. I can literally just set it recording, off we go, set up the grid, and then go from there.
The racing line is good when you can see the racing line a little bit polished, because as a racing driver, it's so obvious to you what the racing line is. But if you're not used to racetracks, and you've got a great width of track in a lot of places as well, it's sometimes a bit alien, but somehow it looks so obvious. But when you see shiny line,
The irritation in my throat.
it's absolutely clear.
The McLaren's good in Sector 2. Really twisty stuff. Really, really good in that sector.
Maximise your
But it hasn't got every piece of the first engine 1 and 3.
so we've got a picture of Max Verstappen as well. Fernando Alonso is putting in a fairly decent time, as Valtteri Bottas puts a 1:36.7 on the board. Charles Leclerc.
The title is not clickbait, but it might be. I'm thinking about how do I get a video out, but it's easy for me to upload and just schedule it. Race starts at 8 o'clock. Put the live feed up, my live feed up, and just run it.
For Alonso in but Max Verstappen has found more time in the middle sector. Is this provisional pole for Max Verstappen? Yes.
In a bizarre kind of way, you can also set it up to have an auto commentator running in the background on the sim version. So it's tempting, isn't it?
Only the time being.
It's very tempting.
Leclerc is setting this track alight.
Live USGP / virtual.
Once again, then Leclerc and Ferrari showing tremendous speed together.
I mean, technically, it'd be true, wouldn't it?
Penalty to take, yeah.
I'm going to do it. We know I'm going to do it. So if I get opportunity.
They'll not be messing around here with too many slipstreams.
2 hour and a half race probably.
Of the track layout.
4th on the grid, last 2 races here. Charles Leclerc won't be 4th this year,
it's
but
very tempting.
Qualifying, and he is 0.4 of a second faster than Max Verstappen. That is a very impressive lap, as Sergio Perez puts his Red Bull potentially onto the front row with that Leclerc penalty to come.
keep an eye on Hamilton. He's out there flying.
Hamilton's got one going, yep. Big middle sector.
Second.
34s, Leclerc and Sainz.
So that's Sainz now on provisional pole, and Hamilton goes third fastest ahead.
34.9.
And that really is a...
Well, that's... I did say, didn't I?
That looked like beating in qualifying very often in 2022. Meanwhile, in the other Mercedes, George matching his teammate in the first sector, losing out a little
Georgie's on it.
Middle sector. So far at the Circuit of the Americas, George Russell has qualified 18th and 20th. This is obviously going to be a lot better. He's in a Mercedes this time around. But let's see how far up the grid he can go.
Is that off track?
On his outlap at the moment, the only time we haven't got other than George Russell. And George Russell's going to cross the line and go 6th fastest. He's got some time to make up there. But that is a stonking lap from Lewis Hamilton. It's a very good lap indeed by Carlos Sainz. At the moment, the front row, Ferrari and Mercedes, Sainz...
I'm sorry, what, Elvis?
And Russell there, a decent lap from George.
Oh, I'm confused.
And it's...
Did I say America? I don't think I said America. Probably the guys.
Still 4/10 shy of Hamilton's lap.
That one, Elvis, has left the building for me, I'm afraid.
George Russell 5-0 since the summer break. He, along with Lando Norris, I think, is the only two drivers with a perfect record in qualifying over their teammates during that particular time.
I'm going to read this out loud to see if I actually understand it. May I correctly say it's not America? In America, I have a lot of difference between the two. Please, can you send that to convert? Thank you, Elvis and Warm UK.
Of the cars, I think
punctuation desperately needed there. I have no idea what that even means.
Tyres to come, and I think they're doing in Aston Martin what they've done before, and they're just putting their...
Where's my America one?
Sync with
America.
Space, not anybody else, and see what they can do. It's not a bad first sector from Lance Stroll with 25.
I don't know, mate. I'm a bit lost with that one, I'm afraid, Elvis. Thank you for your contribution. Always appreciated.
Is where
but I'm not really sure on the context of that one.
Hamilton can be separated. It's that final sector that Sainz had over Hamilton by 0.3 of a second.
And these look like brand new tyres now, don't they, for Max Verstappen?
They are brand new for old Maxi boy.
Grab another set.
Hasn't messed around getting out again, has he?
Yeah.
2 laps.
Pretty early to be out there.
Beat them. Beat us that one.
Apart from a recovering George Russell, and then Max Verstappen out and wanting to get his lap done, unless he's going to do it.
I mean, if the track's cooling, they want to...
Could well be it.
I'll tell you what, in the lighting. I'm looking at the lighting here between the sim and the real world one, and it's bloody close. It's bloody close.
Stroll, his middle sector of 38.4 was about 0.3 down on Leclerc.
Assetto Corsa,
the lab,
the Soul mod.
You can see
and Continent shader patch. Sorry, custom shader patch. Custom shader patch? Oh, it's called. Bang on.
Fastest overall.
Absolutely bang on.
Aston Martin will be very, very happy indeed with that particular position, because if Sergio Perez can't improve by much, he'll drop down behind Stroll. Alonso with a penalty will be behind Stroll as well, and so will Charles Leclerc. So he could actually move up to 2 places there.
On the grid after penalty.
Yeah. Just to, if you are just joining us, it's a 10-place grid penalty for Charles Leclerc.
Hamilton could be starting front row here.
Alonso, and 5 places for Sergio Perez. They've all taken new internal control.
So Perez has got a penalty as well.
5 places.
Should have been Perez at one.
Charles Leclerc's taken a new turbocharger as well. Ferrari never had a pole at the Circuit of the Americas. Well, they've got just the one chance of doing it. And if it wasn't for Leclerc's penalty, they'd be looking out the front row at the moment.
Max just nails the fastest lap in the sim.
Sort of progression you want to see from Lance.
40.99.
Q1, 36.0, Q2, 35.6 effectively.
Stroll's nailed it, hasn't he? How's Stroll managed this? He's Canadian, isn't he? So he's got this.
He's progressed. We don't expect another lap from him.
Thank you very much.
Play for out in front. And has Lewis
I'm
Hamilton?
confused. What's going on in the chat, guys? I have no idea what it was.
A little bit.
Is that an Elvis Presley reference?
Difference with Max Verstappen. We'll see, as he's completed his.
No, it's over my head, mate.
Coasting, yeah, it doesn't look, Martin, like he's
up
the turn 1 in any sort of attack.
Is he putting in two laps in?
Those in very gently indeed. The scrub tyres did the first run. Let's see if the prep lap works for the second.
The Merc boys.
That's completely different. Red Bull normally.
Okay. You know more about Elvis, I do, then, mate.
They like to hurry it up, don't they, on the outlaps?
I've still got a not unusual in my head, but that's Tom Jones.
Now you've got to make sure you don't get in somebody else's way and grab yourself a penalty for that as well.
So your previous poles in Austin, the last 5 poles.
Was he cruising or was he just taking his time?
3 times a pole sitter here, 4 times a pole sitter.
I mean, he can go faster than this to get his tyres warm.
Sainz and others on their outlaps are passing Max on what is his
second lap.
It's just strange, isn't it, from Max?
And the other problem you've got when you do that, as Max drops towards the back of the 10 of them now, just Lewis behind him. If somebody spins off in front of you, then you get caught up in the yellows.
Yeah, exactly.
Strange.
But it's kind of a amble for Max Verstappen. He is ambling along, but might want to get in a bit of a move on it. Hamilton behind him on the track currently, and Hamilton just taking it nice and steady too. Great for us as viewers of the US Grand Prix that the tyres are so finely, delicately poised here, because
I think I've got the
I think at a 2-stop race,
the placement right of the on-screen graphic, didn't I? Really, it's pretty accurate.
And tyre management, even if that is the quickest way to do it. Look to me,
I'd say it's pretty tight, pretty good.
George Russell and Charles Leclerc were looking to try and get a bit of position. Also, George Russell and Carlos Sainz were jockeying over position.
Both are winding down to an end.
Charles Leclerc's got the place pretty much to himself.
You go 1-lap shootout now for pole position. Here we come.
Max must be furiously working the brake pedal to keep some temperature in the brakes. And
this is the thing, I can't see Max doing as well here.
Lewis Hamilton is having to back off now because he was right on Verstappen's tail.
So Hamilton will be the last to cross the line then to decide who starts on pole for the 10th United States Grand Prix.
Leclerc is guaranteed not to be on pole. He's got a penalty them.
9 pole positions this season, is well on his way. He won't be taking pole. He can, of course, win qualifying, and he's looking for a lovely flow through
that movement.
Speed
such a
sector, and he's 2.
You can see why they built this track with Formula 1 cars as a priority.
It looks like the track is ramping up really nicely now.
Carlos Sainz improving his first sector, almost matching that of his teammate Charles Leclerc. Stopping distance is short into turn 11, but you've got to get it right and get great traction too, because if you don't, you're losing speed all the way down this long back.
Here we go.
Fastest part of the track, maximum speed over 200 miles an hour with DRS.
I don't think with DRS, yeah.
9th fastest and completes his.
Max isn't looking too sprightly.
Still a couple of tenths up.
Yeah, Verstappen an okay 25.5 first sector. The
Twitch for the Ferrari.
Tyres of the Ferrari there, Leclerc complaining at how fast he's asking them to go through the corners, but he's pressing on.
This bit of Ferrari's good.
Hamilton 25.
Absolutely smashing her 1 lap.
And Sainz.
Perez went really close.
The fastest middle.
2 tenths short, Perez was.
And that's about 3/10 of a second. And this man, Charles Leclerc, wobbling.
Oh, 34.4, 2 tenths.
34.4. That is the fastest time so far.
Sainz did it. Sainz.
To pole position.
Pole outright.
Hundredths of a second in the year that he took his first pole in Formula 1.
There's Verstappen.
Provisional.
Russell's gone quicker than Verstappen for now.
Fended off the likes of Max Verstappen. Russell goes 5th fastest.
No, 3rd for Verstappen.
3rd fastest is no pole for a 2nd year running here at COTA for Max Verstappen.
What's Hamilton going to do?
Ferrari.
No, didn't improve.
Get that pole as Lewis Hamilton crosses.
Man, that was mega.
5th fastest. Well, they had one chance to grab pole today because of Charles Leclerc's penalty, and grab it they have. Carlos Sainz, for the 2nd time in Formula 1, is on pole.
Well deserved too. He's been flying of late.
That was a quality pole from Carlos. That was quality pole. Nailed it. He hasn't got a penalty for tomorrow either, has he? So he's in a great place.
It's a lovely lap. Noah's Ark at the moment.
So Hamilton is
until the penalties are
going to be 3rd on the grid.
2 Red Bulls, 2 Mercedes in the top 6.
Well, Hamilton couldn't improve his time, but he'll move up and start 3rd on the grid. Behind Max Verstappen, George Russell will move up too and start alongside him as they share that 2nd row. Lance Stroll will also move up for Aston Martin, with Sergio Perez, I think Lando Norris, I should say, also moving up, and not Fernando Alonso, and Valtteri Bottas too. The grid will take a little bit of working out, but that's pretty much it.
So P2, P1 is Sainz.
Yeah.
the car was moving around a little bit, wasn't it? We saw him struggling for rear grip on
He
it.
had the pace of everyone else. Sainz was quicker.
Unsurprisingly and pleasingly, very unhappy to have qualified behind Sainz on pure time.
Well, I think also unhappy that he'll start 12th on the grid now, not 11, as it's another place further back. But this will be a very popular pole. Ferrari well supported at the track. You can see the Ferrari flag in the background. And
hard luck, Max. 10th off pole. He lost 3 tenths in that part of sector.
Yeah, it seemed like the low speed I was running out of tires.
Yeah, we tried something.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the car will be quick tomorrow. That's what's most important.
Yeah, so it worked through the middle sector of the lap, didn't it? Mighty middle sector, but by the time he really needed it at the end of, after 2 preparation laps, effectively an out and plus another lap, they hadn't got anything to give him. But of course, we've now got this weird situation where we have first, second, and third being interviewed, knowing fully that Charles has got a penalty.
Yep, the results of qualifying form the grid only when the penalties are taken into account too. With Max Verstappen not getting pole today, it means Charles Leclerc will end the season.
Hamilton will be up the inside of Verstappen, I think he will be.
Started off the week here in Austin, playing golf down at Spanish Oaks. Very nice course it was too. Some impressive driving on that particular afternoon. A very impressive drive here this evening here at Austin. And he will be mightily chuffed with that. He really will. The 1 pole so far in 2022, and he's added to that pole, of course, came with a win.
Right, that's that then, guys.
And on a track where the front row has decided every
that's
so
that.
Far, and where pole position.
Not too worried about the
5 times in the previous.
The chatter off screen.
It's got to be a very lively chance to grab the win from pole here. See how breezy it is because it's ruffling his hair. Now he's taken his crash helmet.
Carlos has loads of it.
It is Sainz from Leclerc, from Verstappen, the top 3 in qualifying. The grid will look slightly different when you tune in for tomorrow's race. Lewis Hamilton.
I won't say that about what Crofty just repeat what Crofty just said. So yeah, not bad. So hope everyone enjoyed that. Very different on the stream. We had a good little joyride around for the first couple of hours, hour and a half or so, in different cars around COTA, which is obviously what we've just been watching. It was not bad. So hopefully you enjoyed, if you're watching this or watching some kind of catch up, you enjoyed having a virtual sim qualifying running on the side, because that seemed to work quite nicely. No one came into chat and actually said, is this the real race or the real qualifying like we had last year? Which we're not going to do a watch on tomorrow night for the race, as I've already mentioned. We'll be watching the race live with my good lady. So, but I'm toying with having some content go up at the same time. I'm toying, just trying to work out how to do it. It's possible. So stay tuned. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe. We've got another subscriber. Just crack one up there, 223. Thank you very much, whoever that was. As I say, we normally stream iRacing or other sim racing content. So, yeah. be like what you get. Yeah. So, if you like it, subscribe, like the video. I'll talk some more waffle when we get a chance. But I do thank you all for coming by and showing your faces. Been a nice, cozy night in the rig here at Just an Average Sim Racer. So thank you again, guys. I'll bid you all a fond farewell because it is past midnight in the UK now. While I contemplate what I race next. Normal streaming schedule for all newcomers. We will be streaming on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Normally sim racing. Next week is Mexico, so we may do the same in Mexico. But I need to check the times and stuff for that. I think Mexico is fine. For another simulated one, I have just got the Hermanos Rodriguez layout for Assetto Corsa, so as long as it's AI compatible, it should be right. I'll of course have a look and test it out in due course. So again, thank you, guys. Enjoy your evenings, if wherever you are around the world, or mornings, or whatever. Stay tuned to the channel for more content, and then definitely come by for the next live stream on Tuesday. We do stream. It's about 8:15 p.m. UK time. We start streaming from, and it will be iRacing of some description. Usually touring cars as a start time, and some endurance racing as the week goes on, depending on the track. So yeah, that's what happens on the channel. Especially if you're new from tonight, so thank you. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow wherever you see the video. The more the merrier, the more that's appreciated. So thank you guys, enjoy your evenings, and I will see you all very soon on some form of live stream or video. Take care, toodaloo.